Tier League. And now to get you set for exciting Evansville Otters baseball, let's go out to the ballpark for the Evansville Otters pregame warm-up.
Well, welcome to another beautiful sunny day at Bossy Field. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune, glad to have you join us as the Otters and the Southern Illinois Miners will be taking on each other in Game 2 of a 3-game set. Bill, the Otters, the offense wasn't able to click as much as we would like it to yesterday, and the Miners took advantage of every opportunity. After the game was tied at 2, the Miners exploded for 6 runs in the 8th and 9th innings. A combined 6 runs, 4 in the 8th and 2 more in the 9th to give the Miners an 8-2 victory over the Otters last night.
Well, what you say is true, Dave. We only had 7 hits. However, we had 9 strikeouts, and unfortunately 4 of those 9 strikeouts were called strikeouts. So you can't win ball games unless you swing the bat.
So not only that, but the Otters left 11 runners on base. 7 of them were in scoring position, and more than half of them were on second base. So what the Otters will need to do today is hopefully when they get runners in scoring position, as I was just letting our audience know, Bill, that the Otters left 11 runners on base yesterday.
Yes.
7 of them in scoring position.
Yes.
And more than half of them were on second base.
Yes. And especially that time we had the bases loaded and there were no outs. And we didn't score. There were 2 strikeouts, I believe, in that inning that really put the damper on the...
It was the called strike 3 to Calabrese,
right.
And then Hunter, unfortunately, grounded into the 5-3 double play.
Oh, that's what it was, right. Okay, you're right. That was the outstanding play to third base. He took one step, touched third, and then threw it over to first, get the double play. You're right. Young man, you're always right.
Most of the time, not always. I wouldn't say always. Well, we're going to hear from Otters skipper Andy McCauley about this series, what they learned from the series loss against the Lake Erie Crushers, and what they can improve upon. And then I also asked him about that question you have as far as why the shortstop at times moves over towards third base rather than a traditional shortstop.
Right.
So
Andy will be giving us that answer?
Yes.
Good. I'm waiting for that answer.
As far as I know. When we come back, we'll get to our interview with Otters skipper Andy McCauley, and then we'll get to starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Now let's go inside the clubhouse for today's one-on-one with the Evansville Otters.
Dave Nguyen here with Otters skipper Andy McCauley. Andy, the calendar's turned to the month of August, and that means it's time for the Otters to play some meaningful baseball as we search for a playoff push. How excited are you that it is the month of August?
Well, they're all meaningful, Dave, because we play full season. So game 1 means the same as game 60. So and that's kind of what we preach from day one. Just take it one game at a time and try and get better tomorrow than you are today. And the guys have bought in. Good bunch of guys that like working hard, and this is a big series, but they're all big series, but we're right where we want to be. We just got to put it together and finish off the month of August.
Now, one thing is for sure, the Otters offense has performed really well. Last time we talked, you said that the Otters haven't hit to their potential. What is your assessment as we get into August?
We can still do things a lot better. Overall, we have improved, but still some situational things we need to really improve on, which became evidence in that Lake Erie series. We had chances early, man on second, nobody out, and didn't score twice and didn't end up scoring. And we score those runs that they're giving us. When they give us those runs, even one of them, we end up winning that game. So, it comes to a bigger head when you play tight games against some good pitching like Lake Erie, and, it just gets exemplified there. But it does show us that we do need to work on those situations and get those runs across, because that's how playoff baseball's played.
Now, last night was a heartbreaking loss, but you got to appreciate the valiant effort that the Otters never gave up, even in the top of the ninth. What can you take away from the Lake Erie series as we come back home?
No, it was one of the better closers in the league, and some really big at-bats to get that started. Carlos getting us going there, real good at-bat there, and then just some fantastic. Meggs had a great double there, and then some great pinch hits by Long and Phillips to really set the table. But came up a little short. Would have been nice to take the lead there, but came up a little short. But it was good to see the response against one of the better closers in the league.
And in recent weeks, I've noticed there's been some positional movement as far as position by players in the field. There have been times where the shortstop, whether it's Tanner or whether it's JJ, moving more towards the third base side rather than a traditional shortstop position. What has been the thought process in places like that?
Well, there's we look at the spray charts and we realize the hitters, we play them enough to see where they hit the ball on the ground, where they hit it in the air. So it's just positioning based on who's pitching and where they normally hit the ball, just to give us a better chance of fielding it. It's I'll never believe in the big shift, the three on one side, but we'll shade certain areas on the field, and Max and Bobby and Boots have done a good job with that.
Now, tonight is Ease for everyone night, and it should be a sellout crowd. What does it mean to play in front of a sellout crowd at Bosse Field?
Well, it's always good to be home, especially the month of August. The schedule's in our favor a little bit, and it's always great to play at Bosse Field. But I've said it before, there's special nights here at Bosse with a good crowd and a good game where there's no better place in minor league baseball. So, hopefully tonight's another one of those nights.
Now, with us being from the Delaware Valley, that also means that it's almost time for Eagles football. How excited are you for the Birds this season?
I usually don't lock into the Birds until we're done here. So, I'm sure they got all their things going on, and the media in Philadelphia, I'm sure they're blowing everything out of proportion with every little thing. So I'll just tune in once we start getting closer to our playoffs and their opening season. But for right now, it's all hands on deck here in Evansville, Indiana.
All right, Otter skipper Andy McCauley, thank you so much for your time. We'll get back to starting lineups. The first pitch, you listen to Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 WUEV.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
The pizza brick road always goes to Tony's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The pizza brick road goes to Tony's. So follow me down the pizza brick road. Road down to Tony's. The pizza brick road.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. This is the Otters pregame warm-up right here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. Bill, in order for the Otters to win Game 2, what is one key for today's game?
Well, one of our better pitchers is on the mound today, Jake Welsh, and he leads the Otters in strikeouts. He's got over 80 strikeouts, even though Vail is, and
Beardsley?
And Beasley are up there in the 70s. Welsh has 80, and, of course, he's got a big incentive here tonight. His father and his brother and his mother is here, and I expect him to really show some class and really perform well for his parents as well as the fans.
I can agree with you on that one. And as far as the offense goes, they were able to hit well situationally. It's just that they weren't able to come through with that next single to get runs across the board. What was clear was the bottom of the 8th yesterday when they had the bases loaded no outs. All they needed was a single to get that run across, and the rally could have continued. So the Otters, if they play situational baseball well, that'll give them a chance for more success.
Well, if you look at last night's lineup, Dave, the first 5 hitters, you got Cronin 1 and Keith 2 and Long 2 and Castro 1. There's where the majority of all your hits were.
That's right.
So if we had gotten some hits from the bottom half of the lineup, yeah, it would have been a different story.
Well, today it looks like our lineup is going to be offensive heavy. Batting first, playing second base will be David Cronin. Batting second, playing shortstop for the first time since the month of May, is Keith Griesaber. Batting third will be the third baseman Ryan Long. Batting fourth will be the first baseman Dakota Phillips. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter Carlos Castro. Batting sixth will be Big Mac Elijah McNamee in right field. Batting seventh will be Hunter Cullen. He plays center. Batting eighth will be the catcher Mike Rizzatello. And batting ninth will be the left fielder Jack Meggs. For the visiting Southern Illinois Miners, batting first will be the newly acquired miner from the Windy City Thunderbolts, number 2, Omar Obregon, playing second base. Batting second will be the shortstop Yeltsin Gudino. Batting third will be the designated hitter Gianfranco Wawu. Batting fourth will be the first baseman Jamie Smart, who had the 2-run home run yesterday. He totaled for 4 RBIs, so the Otters might need to be careful when Smart is at the plate.
Yeah, he had 3 for 5 and 4 RBIs. You're right. Plus, he scored twice himself.
That's right.
That alone beat the Otters.
That's right. Batting fifth will be Taylor Sparks, the third baseman. He also hit a 2-run homer yesterday. Batting sixth will be the catcher Arturo Nieto. Batting seventh will be Kyle Davis in left field. Batting eighth will be Joe Duncan. He plays center field. And batting ninth will be the right fielder in Ryan Stacy. Steven Ridings, coming off the DL, or the IL as it is called, first start since July 22nd. So the Otters look to go up against a guy who hasn't started in a couple of weeks, coming off the injured list. What do you expect from the Otters offensively going up against a starter for the Miners who hasn't pitched in a couple weeks?
Well, I'll tell you what, it all depends on what type of velocity he's got. Is he aiming his pitches? Does he have a good breaking pitch? Now, I know Cronin likes to swing at the first pitch. I mean, here's the first pitch of the game, or first pitch for the Otters when they're at bat, and Dave likes to swing at that. So it'd be nice if he takes a couple of pitches and just sees what's going on. You know, what's the velocity? Is it 80? Is it 90? What's his breaking pitch? And then come back and say to his teammates, hey, watch it. This guy's got a sharp breaking pitch.
Well, if Cronin finds a first pitch fastball, you better believe he's going to swing the baseball bat right away.
Oh, I agree with you.
We're going to get to the national anthem, and when we come back, it'll be first pitch from Bossy Field. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
GD Ritzy's is a proud...
It's game time for the Otters on 91.5 FM WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
3-1. Long. Toward right. Toward the corner. Toward the foul pole and over the wall. Fair. Home run for Ryan Long.
First pitch. Cronin crushes it in the air to deep right field. He bat flips it and it's way out of here.
Don't forget, Otters fans, you can catch every Evansville Otters broadcast on 91.5 FM WUEV, online at evansvilleotters.com, and through the WUEV mobile app.
Roxon deals the 2-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. Vale rings up Bissell to end it, and the Otters are going back to the postseason.
Now, let's go out to the ballpark for all of the action.
What's he lined up for the winner?
Welcome to beautiful Bossy Field. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. The Otters and the Southern Illinois Miners in Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Southern Illinois Miners were able to take Game 1 last night on a fireworks show and E is for everyone night at Bossy Field. The Miners took care of the Otters by a score of 8-2. Jake Welch on the mound for the Otters. The 6'6" right-hander has a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 80-30. That's not bad at all, right, Bill?
I would say it's better than half, yes. I'll tell you what, he does have a very good physical frame out there. It allows him to really extend that arm, and there goes the breaking pitch right there. But the lanky-type pitcher, Dave, they got more leverage, and throwing it, their arm is longer and their legs are longer, and they take a bigger step toward home.
Now, I think the 6'6" presence has opposing teams a bit intimidated. He's got a nice curveball, a good slider, and he can always sneak in that fastball. His breaking pitches have been his success, his bread and butter, and then he'll throw maybe the occasional two-seam if he gets deep into a ball game.
Well, let's hope his parents are here tonight. He has an outstanding performance. He shows his parents how proud he is of them to come and see him, play. And I just hope everybody does well today.
Well, to the plate to begin the game is Omar Obregon, the former Windy City Thunderbolt. He takes a first pitch breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes, and we are officially underway at Bossy Field. Welch from the right side of the rubber fires a 1-0. That'll be a breaking ball low and away to the left-handed batter, Obregon. Count moves at 2-0. No outs, top of the first, no score here at Bossy Field. Welch will come set from the right side of the rubber. Fires a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
If there was a runner on base, I think Jake would have balked on that last thing. If you notice, he was in the mode of pitching, and then he stopped, and then he readjusted his body.
2-1 is fouled away down the third base line. Count even at 2 to Obregon, who is hitting .250 as a minor. He was 1 for 4 yesterday with a single. He also walked and scored a run, and also a strikeout looking from Tyler Beardsley. Welch takes a deep breath. Here's his 2-2. It's a breaking ball that hangs outside. Count goes full as the Otters will be wearing their maroon uniforms with white letters and numbers and a navy blue trim. Rizzatello sets up inside. This is a pop-up to right center field. Cullen will come under it and make the catch for out number 1. 1 away here in the top of the first, and it'll bring up Yeltsin Gudino.
Yeah, I think for the fans out in Otterville land, Dave, we're seeing a very unusual thing, and that is Keith, who generally is in left field or in center field, is now playing shortstop.
That's right.
And I don't recall his last time there, but
May.
In May, okay, but that is a big change.
Normally an infielder, stepped up and played left field throughout the majority of the season. First pitch from Welch to Gudino is a called strike down the heart of the plate. 0-1 the count, 1 out, top of the first, no score. Long at third, Griesaber at short, Cronin at second, Phillips at first, And the next pitch to Gudino is fouled in front of the Otters dugout. On the first base side, count moving quickly to 0-2. Right field will be Elijah McNamee, Cullen in center, and Jack Meggs in left.
That's what I was just about to say. How can you squeeze those 4 guys or 3 guys in, plus Keith in that outfield? So Andy made the move of putting one of the outfielders to the infield, which, again, he is an infielder. So, really, he might be more comfortable out there at short.
Yeah, well, he was originally an infielder, couldn't find a spot in River City. When Cronin was injured to begin the season, there was a ground ball to Long, a soft grounder across the diamond to first. Phillips makes the catch for out number 2. But when Keith was signed here, he filled in for Cronin at second base, and then when he got healthy, Keith managed to hit the ball in the lineup well. After the departure for Taylor Lane, Keith stepped up in left field, and throughout the majority of the first month of the season, he was arguably the best hitter in the Frontier League.
Oh, I'll agree with that.
To the plate now is Gianfranco Wawu, the all-star for the Miners. His first pitch from Welch. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. Got a little bit of curve on the end of that pitch for a count at 0-1. 2 outs.
And our catcher, Mike, he kind of shaded that one a little.
We'll take him where we can get him. 0-1 is a bouncing ball over the glove of Rizzatello. Count even at 1 with 2 outs. Wawu had the single last night, as well as 2 walks and 2 runs scored. One and 1 the count. The next pitch. The upstairs and bounce possibly off of the mask of the home plate umpire in James Purnell. Sean Backus, last night's home plate umpire, is on the base path.
Remember last night there was a ball that hit, I think it was Meggs, and it ricocheted and hit the mask of the catcher for the
next pitch is called for a strike on the outside corner, low and away to the right-handed batter in Wawu. Knee high, 2-2 the count, 2 outs, no score. Welch will shrug his shoulders towards his back. Standing on the right side of the rubber, fires it 2-2. Ground ball foul and may have hit off the foot or the inside part of the left leg of Wawu. Count remains even at 2, and I'm sure you've had your fair share of foul balls off your foot.
No, tell you what, Dave, in all honesty, and I'm not lying, I don't recall ever getting a foul ball off my ankle or shin or whatever you want in the thousands of times I was at the plate.
Really?
Yeah, I never recall being hit.
2-2 is a breaking ball that Riz will keep in front of him. And I don't know if Riz had any gymnastics of a background, but he sure made some athleticism right there on that particular pitch.
Well, I was to judge that with a number 5. It was a very difficult move, and I would have given it a 5. Maybe others might have given him a 7. But
okay.
I'm going to give him a 5.
5 out of 10?
Yes.
I think he'll take it.
Yeah. It was a good move. But you called it right.
Okay. Riz will set up outside the payoff pitch. That was a called strike 3. Riz painted that one on the outside corner, and we are 1-2-3 in the top of the first. The Otters will come up to bat on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball.
Riz will set up outside the payoff pitch.
The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition.
And we are 1-2-3 in the top of the first. The Otters will come up to bat on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball.
Riz will set up outside the payoff pitch.
The Evansville Courier and Press provides weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition.
And we are
the Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter,
on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Courier-Press would like to thank the Journal and thank the Evansville Courier-Press for their support.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream, with 3 Evansville locations: west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue.
During commercial, because people can hear it on the airwaves.
Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features First Avenue.
During commercial, people can hear it on the airwaves. All right, welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. The Otters will come to bat against Steven Ridings, who's making his first start since July 22nd. Hasn't pitched in a couple of weeks. He'll be facing off against David Cronin, Keith Griesaber, and Ryan Long for batters 1, 2, 3 in the Otters order. So to the plate now is David Cronin. Dave is batting .285 on the season. 1 for 5 yesterday with a single. Ridings, a right-handed pitcher for the Miners on the mound. The infield, especially the third baseman Sparks, plays on the edge of the infield grass. First pitch to Dave is popped up to left field. Waiting for it is Davis, and he'll be making the catch for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the first. And to the plate now is Keith Griesaber. Keith is hitting .300 on the season. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. And playing in front of his mom, Keith looks to have a good showing today. Throughout the past month, Keith has increased his batting average from .263 to now .300. He takes a first pitch strike down the middle. 0-1 the count from Ridings to Griesaber, 1 away in the bottom of the first. Ridings will come set. He fires an 0-1 pitch. That would be a called strike 2 right down the heart of the plate. Count moves to 0-2 with 1 out. On deck is Ryan Long, followed by Dakota Phillips in the hole. There's 1 away, no score, bottom of the first inning. Ridings comes set. Here's now the 0-2 pitch. It'll be a looping single right up the middle of the infield. Griesaber on board with the Otters' first hit. Not only for the Otters, but the first hit of the game. To the plate now is Ryan Long, who's hitting .280 on the season. He is now second in the league in home runs with 12. Hector Roa of Washington has 14. Ryan also has the Frontier League lead in RBIs. And I want to welcome on a special guest of mine. Melissa, how are you? Haley, my apologies.
Okay.
How are you, Haley?
Good, how are you?
First pitch to Ryan Long is low and away for a ball. Haley, I want to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, and as well as being a faithful Otter fan.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Ryan Long has an 0-1 count, 1 out, runner on first and Griesaber. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll be a swing and a miss for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Ryan Long. And Haley, I understand that there's a big moment that happened before the game today.
Yes.
I think you know it better than I do. Well, feel free to tell the audience what happened before today's game.
After I threw the first pitch, my boyfriend Carlos Castro then surprised me, and he asked me to marry him, and I said yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I can't say I know the feeling, but I'm sure you're feeling really happy right now.
Yes, and butterflies in my stomach. It was completely unexpected, and Mom and Dad and my best friend were behind it.
Okay. I gotta tell you, I did not know.
You
as
didn't?
Well. I was shocked. I honestly did not know what was going on. I mean, I know you and Carlos spend a lot of time together, and well, I think that's. I feel like it's wonderful that you guys are moving on in that step of your relationship.
It'll be exciting. Long road ahead with this baseball, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure you know baseball, the season is a grind, and you got to worry about only the things that are in front of you, one pitch at a time, one game at a time. As Ryan Long has a 1-2 count, no out, or 1 out, bottom of the first, no score. Grease Aber singled moments ago to give the Otters their first base runner of the game. Ridings from the belt. The catcher, Nieto, will set up outside the Long. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grease Aber goes. It's a swing and a miss for strike 3, but Grease Aber has a successful stolen base. Now, what is it about Carlos as Dakota Phillips will step to the plate? Castro will be in the hole, or on deck, I should say. What is it about Carlos that makes him a great guy? Now, I've roomed with him from time to time on the road trips. I think he has an underrated sense of humor.
Yeah, he is. He's always joking about stuff, but he's very respectful, constantly surprising me, very supportive with my job, and always makes me laugh even whenever I'm having a tough day. And my family really likes him, so that's a major thing.
Phillips with a runner on second, no outs, or 2 outs. Grease Aber on second base. The first pitch to Dakota is inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. No score. The lone hit of this game was Keith Grease Aber, who singled. He successfully stole second base. Castro on deck. And I'm sure Carlos let you know that he was an all-star this year. From your opinion, how happy was he? Because I was able to talk to him before he headed off to New York. But there's just a lot of excitement for him and kind of a bit of relief, too.
Yes, it was very exciting for him because his mom is from there.
That's right.
And his mother has never seen him play since he's been in the United States. So it was the first time she got to see him play, and just being reconnected with her after a couple years. So that was the major thing for him going to New York. And then, of course, caught up with some best friends that he sees once a year. But the main thing was his mom getting to see him play.
Ridings will step off the rubber as Grease Aber is in scoring position at second base. 1-1 the count to Dakota Phillips. No score, bottom of the first. I am pleased to have Haley, the now fiance, I guess I should say, of Carlos Castro, wearing her rock, and it is very shiny. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-1. What is it that you do when not at Bossy Field? What is it that you do for work?
I work at Jacobs Village.
Okay.
So a lot of them like to come to the games. A lot of the clients come. So even when I'm working, like I'm working tonight, we're still at the ball field.
2-1 the count. 2 outs. Grease Aber at second. Ridings will check Grease Aber at second base. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Phillips. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And that will even the count at 2 with 2 outs. I think that's one of the things that Castro did mention. He just had a big smile on his face on the fact that he was able to see his mom in New York when he went to the All-Star game.
Yes, I was very excited for him.
And I think more of a sense of relief and just enjoyment that he was able to be surrounded by family and friends that have always supported him throughout his life.
Exactly. So it was very exciting.
2-2 is a breaking ball in the dirt. Throw down to second base, and Grease Aber gets back there safely. Almost thrown out, and one heck of a throw by Arturo Nieto, the catcher for the Miners. Griesaber gets back safely on what could have been a questionable tag for an out.
Good throw for the catcher, he would have been out. It was too high. Anyway.
Full count to Phillips and a big at-bat here. Carlos Castro on deck. No score at Bosse Field. Phillips will now step out of the batter's box. Call time. And the catcher, Nieto, will talk to his right-handed pitcher in Steven Ridings. So what is it about baseball, in your opinion, that you like or you love? Because not only have you been dating Carlos, but your cousin, Cameron, is the visiting clubhouse manager. So I feel like baseball has always been a part of your life.
It's crazy because I really haven't gone to a lot of games over the years. Just more recently last year with work and stuff, I've been coming more often. And just to see the crowd getting involved, the support that the players have. And then, of course, when you have a close back-and-forth game, crazy close calls out on the field, it's all just exciting. And they work very, very hard.
Well, I couldn't agree more.
I love it all.
That's right. Well, baseball is a hard game, a long game,
yes,
but you got to take it one day at a time, one pitch at a time. And Haley, I want to congratulate you and Carlos. When you see him, tell him I said congratulations. Again, I was not expected. I was just as surprised as you, a happily engaged woman right here.
Thank you.
Haley, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get back to Bosse Field after this commercial break. And I'm sure you would want to see Carlos at bat in the bottom of the second inning. We're going to get back to Bosse Field momentarily after this commercial break. No score from Bosse Field on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. We're in the top of the second, no score. And we had the pleasure of the now fiance of Carlos Castro to join us for a few minutes. Something that I don't think either of us expected to occur, but nothing better than a good surprise to begin the day.
Well, that's true. And, of course, you know, as I told her, I met my wife here 63 years ago. And I tell you what, here we are together today, 63 years later. So I wish Carlos and that young lady the best. But, no, Dave, my first year in pro ball down in Welsh, West Virginia, pitcher was Jack Adams from Massachusetts. He got married at home plate, and we all stood with the bats up, you know, over, and the girl walked through and all. But I've never seen anyone propose out there in the field. So all these years in baseball is something new every day.
2-1 the count to Smart, who hit the 2-run home run yesterday. He totaled for 4 RBIs against the Otters. He has a 3-1 count to begin the top of the second inning. Welsh on the mound in front of his family. His mom and his dad and his brother are here. The man from New York, standing tall at 6'6", fires a 3-1 pitch. It's foul down the left field line. Count now full to Smart, and I think if Welch was paying attention yesterday, needs to be careful on how to throw to this particular individual and Jamie Smart because of how much power he showed last night.
Well, he's a big, strong individual, I'll tell you that.
Here's a pop-up, shallow, Going back is Chris Saber, and Meggs comes in with a sliding catch for out number 1.
That was a smart play. Keith, being an infielder, outfielder, ran back, but must have heard Meggs yell, I got it, and he did a slide to prevent the collision. A good heads-up play.
So 1 away in the top of the second. Welch had a clean inning back in the top of the first. It'll bring up Sparks, the third baseman, who was 1 for 4 with a 2-run home run yesterday. So the Miners hit 2 2-run homers yesterday. Welch gets Sparks to bite on a slider, low and away, swing and a miss for strike 1.
That had a good bite to it. I mean, he missed that by 2 foot, but it was a tremendous bite.
The 0-1 pitch will be a breaking ball over the glove of Rizzatello. I believe that's the second time that's occurred in this game so far.
I'm going to say an opinion. I think maybe Jake is holding that ball too long and, snapping that arm, and that's why they're bouncing and they're being wide.
The 1-1 would be a called strike 2 on the inside corner to the right-handed batter and Taylor Sparks. 1-2 the count, 1 out. Top of the second, no score here at Bosse Field.
I'm quite sure with his parents in the stands, he's very nervous.
I'm sure. Swing and a drive to deep left field. Back goes Meggs, and that ball is foul. And now the third base coach for the Miners and manager Mike Pinto of the Miners are coming out to argue the call.
Steve Marino, the third base coach, he ran down, took his hat off. The little general come running out of the dugout. He got halfway, stopped. The umpire now is conversing with the first base umpire. Now, to me, Dave, that's going to be a very, very hard decision to make, because if that first base umpire is all the way down on that line, how can he see whether it went inside or outside that foul pole? That is going to be a very, very, I'll tell you what, that's a tough call he's going to make.
I personally don't know, because the ball went out too fast for me to track it down.
Me too. It just jumped off the bat. I think he's going to call it
I think he just called it a foul ball.
And there comes a little General Napoleon, and I'll tell you what, he has got, you know what his job used to be in the winter?
No.
He used to attend meetings and kind of upgrade all the different office personnel. He was giving, what would you call it, juice, I can't think of the word I want to say, but anyway, he's a promoter.
So, if I would have to guess, the ball went out too quickly, but from the crack of the bat, I thought it was gone. The distance was there. I may have to give the edge to the batter Sparks that he had a solo home run. But manager Mike Pinto is very, very upset. The Otters, I believe, will catch a break, as it will be ruled a long foul ball to move the count to 1-2.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I'll tell you what, as if I was the batter, I know I would be extremely annoyed, displeasured.
And upset.
A good word.
Or disgruntled.
Another good word.
The 1-2 from Welch is a breaking ball low and away. Count even at 2 with 1 out, and Sparks yesterday he hit the 2-run home run. 1 of 2. The other one was hit by Jamie Smart. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and out number 2. Welch catches him with a fastball. There are 2 away in the top of the second.
Let's see how disgruntled he is. He's not throwing the bat at all. He's just taking his gloves off, puts the hat down gently.
Well, I'm sure he has some choice words to say.
I'm quite sure.
To the point now is the catcher Arturo Nieto, who did not play in Game 1. Nieto is hitting .234 in the season with 25 hits. First pitch to him drops in there for a strike from Welch. Count moves at 0-1. Welch went off speed on that particular pitch. 0-1 the count, 2 outs, no score. Top of the second.
This young man here, Arturo, when he was catching and Keith was on second base.
Check swing.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh.
I think that might be a makeup call.
I was just going to say it. Good call on your part. But anyway, Arturo, when Keith was on second, he tried to pick him off. If he had thrown that directly a bullet throw, he would have nabbed it. But he lobbed it.
This next pitch from Welch drops in there, off speed once more for strike 2. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. No score. Top of the second here at Bosse Field. 1 hit between both teams. A single by Griesaber back in the bottom of the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Welch. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. Count now even at 2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, Mike's a good defensive catcher, and like I say, he shifted. He had good agility on that call, and although it didn't matter because there's no one on base, but yeah, you got to practice that. You can't let those balls go because when it comes time.
2-2 is a fastball inside.
Ooh.
Count now full.
Jake thought that was a strike. He started walking off the mound.
I think his father agreed too.
Yeah, well, I did too. There'd be 3 of us. Yeah, it looked like the same pitch he called the batter out in the first inning.
Welch with another deep breath, standing on the right side of the rubber. The payoff pitch. That'll be a called strike 3. Second time that has happened. 3 strikeouts for Welch. We head to the bottom of the second. No score from Bosse Field on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The tri-state area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at myMarathonStation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is Fueling the American Spirit.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Evansville Otters baseball, Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. No score. Bottom of the second we go from Bosse Field. To the plate for the Otters will be Carlos Castro, Elijah McNamee, and Hunter Cullen for batters 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the Otters order. Castro to the plate, and we were able to speak with his now fiance,
yes.
Moments ago, back in the bottom of the first.
I wonder, I was down there sitting behind home plate with my wife, and I was watching all this activity before it happened, and he was out, and I kept saying, what's he doing out all by himself? Nobody else is in uniform, and he's and then I watched these women. There's a bunch, about 3 or 4 of them, and I said, oh, look at that one, and
first pitch is inside for a ball to Castro from Steven Ridings. Count at 1-0 to Carlos.
Yeah, this one woman, she gave an indication now to who I don't know, and but it wasn't
This next pitch is popped up. Playable for Nieto, the catcher, and he makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1. Go ahead, Bill.
No, it wasn't to Carlos, and it wasn't Carlos's fiancée. It was just one of the women that was in the group. And I said, there's something going on. You know, I mean, really, there's something going on. It brought back that detective, my sheriff's detective that I was going back 60 years ago. You didn't know that, did you?
No. You were a detective?
Yeah, 3 years.
Look at that.
A sheriff's detective.
Okay. So to the plate now is Elijah McNamee. His first pitch from Ridings. Be a ground ball to the third baseman. Can't hold on to it. Sparks thought he could get it with the glove. Did not put his body completely in front of it. And that ground ball goes through the hole on the left side of the infield. A single for Big Mac.
Base hit. That's the official. So Big Mac gets a...
Big Smack?
He gets French fries with that hamburger.
I'll be honest with you, I've never had a Big Mac.
Oh, really?
Never had one.
Oh, boy, you're missing it.
Am I?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big, if I were to go to Mickey D's, I'd go to a quarter pounder. Maybe the double quarter pounder.
Well, you know, I used to work for Mr. Big Mac McDonald.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day?
Back in the day, San Diego Padres was owned by McDonald's.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
See?
right.
Although I never got a break.
First pitch to Hunter Cullen is a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to the lefty Hunter Cullen. Ridings on the mound, making his first start since July 22nd, coming off the injured list. Runner on first. Here's the next pitch. It's a swing and a miss to Cullen. Make that count now at 0-2 with 1 out.
You know, I hate to say this, Dave, but I'll have to tell the truth. Otherwise, it's a lie. But when I was scouting down in the minor leagues, in the game we'd get over early, I would go to a Burger King for my evening dessert rather than McDonald's.
It's okay.
So.
The Burger King has a good original chicken sandwich, as well as the Whopper.
Well, at that time, they used to have the salad bar for $1. So if you bought a Burger King, whatever they're called, the big ones anyway, the Whoppers, and you paid like 99 cents for another $1, you could get the salad bar.
Oh, okay.
I would load up on that salad bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So for $2, I'd go home happy. We're back to the hotel.
Okay. Not a bad deal.
Oh no, I took advantage of it.
1-2 the count to Cullen. Here's the next pitch, and that drops in the dirt for a ball. Count even at 2 to Hunter Cullen. Oh, he called another delayed strike 3. See, Purnell, this isn't the first time he's done it. I normally look for the K or the arm, trying to pry and start the lawnmower, but there's 2 away.
This young man, Purnell, has a habit of just turning. He doesn't indicate with the right arm outward like most umpires. He just turns. And it's funny now, he's made those calls on the first and second inning on the minors, and now he did it on Cullen. He just turns, and you just know that the ball player walks away, but he doesn't give you that indicator that other umpires do.
Rizzatello to the plate. His 1-0 pitch is swung on and stays in the air to Stacy in right field for out number 3. Otters leave Elijah McNamee stranded at first. 2 up, 2 down from Bossy Field. You listen to Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi Bottling Group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi Bottling Group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Well, Bill, another one bites the dust as we start the top of the third. No score from Bossy Field. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. To the plate for the Miners will be Kyle Davis, Joe Duncan, and Ryan Stacy for batters 7, 8, and 9 in the Miners order. Davis had the first hit of the game yesterday. Stepping to the plate, he swings and fouls this one behind home plate. Keep moving the count to 0-1. From Jake Welch.
Well, a lot of pitchers, they believe when they get down to 7, 8, and 9 hitter, they're weak hitters. So therefore, they don't give you their best. They just, toy with them, and you can't. Every batter is a potential home run hitter.
Next pitch from Welch is a called strike, moving the count quickly to 0-2. See, Welch, after the back-to-back strikeouts to end the bottom of the second, or top of the second, excuse me, he might be trying to get into a groove. Swing and a fly ball to deep center field. Going back is Cullen to the wall, and he makes the catch at the wall in right center field. Said it yesterday, I'll say it again. You can't teach speed.
No, and you can't deny that Mr. Cullen's probably one of the best, if not the best, center fielder in this league. We know he's the best center fielder in the Otters, but you just saw a man with the Joe DiMaggio type of play where at the crack of the bat, he was off and running, knew the location, got there as fast as he could, and made a beautiful catch.
Duncan bunts this. Long, charges, throw to first. Phillips with a stretch in time.
Unbelievable.
Phillips doing the splits to get the catch from Ryan Long for out number 2. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, but two outstanding plays. One by Ryan, who came in and picked that ball up underhand, bare hand, fired it, and Phillips, who did a split. I mean, I would check those pants and see if they're not ripped when he gets finished.
I'm sure his mother would be worried.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was, between Ryan and Phillips, what a play. Oh, jeez. Poor Benny, the clubhouse man's probably going to have to run to the tailors tomorrow.
The 1-0, excuse me, is outside for a ball. Count moves to 2-0 to Stacy, who was 0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout and a walk.
I tell you, Dave, I was a former catcher, and no way could I ever do a split like that. No way. I mean, between one leg, the right leg, and the left leg, the distance in between must have been 48 inches. My God, it was spread.
3-0, called strike 1 on the outside corner. Rizzatello set up outside and managed to hug the outside corner to the left-handed batter in Stacy. Count moves to 3-1 with 2 outs. And I got to tell you, even that one made me hurt a bit, and I wasn't even on the field. Ground ball to Cronin, throws over to first. Phillips is there, and a 1-2-3 inning, 3 straight 1-2-3 innings for Jake Welch. We head to the bottom of the third. No score from Bossy Field on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Since 1994, Slays Restoration has been assisting tri-state residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slays Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mitigation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slays Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
The pizza brick road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The pizza brick road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the pizza brick road. Road down to Tyroni's. The pizza brick road. The pizza brick road always goes to Tyroni's.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Evansville Otters baseball, Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Otters and Miners in a scoreless game in the bottom of the third. If we look at the Otters run tracker, if there's any time for the Otters offense to get some runs across the board, it would start in the third inning. Throughout the season, the Otters have scored 43 runs in the third inning, but the most, and you guessed it, Bill, will be in the seventh.
Oh, I would say so. Anyway, I got some news for you, Dave. One of our fans, one of the loyal fans, sits behind home plate all the time, Roger, a Navy veteran, came up to me before the game, and he said, as far as those polls are concerned that Dave's worried about, he said, I've already discussed it with the board. And he said, we got two options. If we cut it down, the roof's going to cave in. So he said, let's leave them up.
I think that would be best for the entire audience here at Bossy Field. Another great crowd on hand. The first pitch to Jack Meggs. Swinging a drive to center field. Going back is Duncan, and he'll make the catch in right center for out number one. One pitch, one out.
Yeah, that's what happened last night. We kept swinging at the first pitch all the time, and before you know it, 1, 2, 3 pitches, and we were out of the inning. We can't do that. I know if the first pitch is a good one, yes, but I don't believe every batter that gets up, the first pitch is good.
To the plate now is David Cronin. He's 0 for 1, and I believe he swung on his first pitch of his first at-bat.
Right.
Back in the first, he flew out to left. He takes a first pitch strike from Ridings on the outside corner, low and away to the lefty Dave Cronin. Count at 0-1.
And that third baseman is playing close to short. Very
0-1, ground ball fouled down the first baseline. Count moves to 0-2, and you're right, Bill. Sparks the third baseman.
But he's ready. If you notice, he's like a cannon. He's primed to charge at all times if the ball is laid down. But now, there's 2 strikes. He's gone back to normal short third base position. Well, back further in his position.
The 0-2 pitch outside for a ball. Now, Sparks was playing on the edge of the infield grass moments ago, but now with a 1-2 count, he'll play back. Sparks has allowed a hit when he couldn't get his glove down in time back in the second inning that allowed McNamee to single.
Yeah, it's very unusual to see a guy his size playing third base.
The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. That will a good backhand stop by O'Brien.
Got robbed of a base hit.
And Cronin is thrown out for out number 2. A backhand stop by Obregon. And there are 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
I tell you what, that was a beautiful play by Omar at second base. And, yeah, I mean, You know, I'd go back to that bench, and I would have a few words in my mind that I wouldn't say outward, but in my mind I'd say, you know.
That's a pretty good play.
Yeah.
To the plate now is Keith Griesaber, who has the lone hit for the Otters today. He gets a called strike, belt high inside to the right-handed batter. The St. Louis native playing with his mom in front of him in the audience. Count moves to 0-1 with 2 outs.
Yeah, I heard his mother is in town. Mother and father, I guess.
I only saw the mother.
Oh, just the mother? Oh, okay.
Ridings will come set, kicks and fires an 0-1 pitch. That would be a breaking ball that Keith wishes he did not lift his bat on. It's a swing and a miss to Griesaber, moving the count to 0-2. 2 outs, no score. Bottom of the third from Bosse Field between the Southern Illinois Miners and the Evansville Otters.
Probably one of the biggest rivals in the Frontier League is the Miners and the Otters.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Ridings will now step off the rubber as Griesaber will call time. Nieta, the catcher, now goes out to visit his pitcher Ridings. So Welch has thrown 3 1-2-3 innings. Ridings has allowed 2 hits, 1 to Griesaber, who's at the plate right now, and 1 to Elijah McNamee. We're in the bottom of the third. 2 outs, and the pitch count by Ridings is not high at all. He has 22 strikes and 8 balls. Came in today with 20 strikeouts. Hasn't pitched in over 2 weeks, coming off the injured list for the Miners. He fires an 0-2 pitch, but he's swing and a miss on a breaking ball from Ridings, gets Griesaber for strike 3. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 4th from Bosse Field. No score on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations: west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
Back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. No score. We head to the 4th. To the plate for the Miners of Southern Illinois will be the top of the order in Omar Obregon, followed by Yeltsin Gudino and Gianfranco Wawu. First pitch from Welch. Drops in there for a called strike.
And the baseball oddity of making an outstanding play in the field, you automatically come up to bat in that next inning. And that is what happened. This Omar robbed Cronin of a base hit.
Slap hit to long at third. Throws across the diamond in time to Phillips for out number 1. It'll bring up the shortstop, Yeltsin Gudino, who was 1 for 4 yesterday with a single, a walk, a run scored, and a strikeout. Today, Gudino is 0 for 1 with a ground out to Ryan Long. Here's the first pitch. drops right in there for a strike. Curveball seems to be working for Welch as he has an 0-1 count to Gudino with 1 out. Top of the fourth, no score from Bosse Field. 2 hits on the day, both from the Otters, one by Griesaber, the other one by Elijah McNamee. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It'll be a fly ball, foul territory. Phillips thinks he might have it. Towards the bullpen, and he won't be able to get there in time. Good hustle there by Phillips and Cronin as the ball will bounce over the fence.
Watch something unusual. He motored from his position there. He nearly outraced Phillips to that ball. I never realized how quick he was. That's called lightning speed.
No, he's not afraid to be a threat on the base path either.
Well, you know, speed and quickness are 2 different things, and he's got both.
The 1-2 pitch.
Strike 3.
Called strike 3, as a matter of fact, for 2 outs in the top of the fourth. That'll be the 4th strikeout of the day for Jake Welch. And it'll bring up Gianfranco Wawu, who struck out looking back in the first. He's 0 for 1. Wawu, the all-star for the minors, as Riz will set up outside. That's a called strike right down the middle. Count moves to 0-1. Between the fastball and curveball, it seems to be working for Welch here in the fourth. Long at third, Griesaber at short, Cronin at second, the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Now that's the slider that had some bite to it, moving the count quickly to 0-2.
Yeah, and he's been 0-2 on several batters so far in this game, which is really outstanding.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Rizzatello will throw down to first base to record the official out. And I got to tell you, that slider is biting tonight for Welch as we head to the bottom of the fourth. No score from Bosse Field. You listen to Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Chapter 16, would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at IBEW16.net.
The Tri-State Area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at myMarathonStation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is Fueling the American Spirit.
Welcome you back to Bosse Field, and there will be a pitching change for the Miners as Steven Ridings has exited the game. He was warming up to start the bottom of the fourth, but a minor injury to Ridings when he was warming up caused him to go to the dugout, of Southern Illinois, and the Miners will bring in a new reliever. Something you don't see every day, Bill.
No, the official scorer, Gordon, just come over to tell us that somehow it was on that last pitch he threw. It was in the elbow or something, and he just didn't look right. He just walked off that mound. And I don't know if there was any indication that he was tight or something in between innings and might have gone to the general and said, hey, I don't know. I'll go out there and try, but I'm not sure I can go another inning. And that's why this gentleman that's out in the mound now started warming up. Whatever, if you notice, because of an injury such as there is, pitcher can take all day long to warm up. There is no restrictions. If a new pitcher came in, he was allocated 8 pitches, but in this case here, hey, if you want to throw 20 or 30 whenever you're ready, that's when we'll start the game.
Well, thank you for the note and the rules, and I think that's very valuable right now. As Ridings went 3 innings, he allowed only 2 hits, and he had 3 strikeouts coming off the injured list today, making his first start since July 22nd. And while the new pitcher in Cody Thompson, a 6'2" right-hander from Mechanicsville, Virginia, will warm up for the Miners. Let's check the scores around the Frontier League as I refresh my page momentarily. And game 1 of a day-night doubleheader, the Washington Wild Things defeated the Florence Freedom by a final score of 7-1. In the top of the 8th in Lake Erie, the River City Rascals lead the Crushers by a score of 1-0. And in the top of the 7th, the Schaumburg Boomers lead the Joliet Slammers by a score of 1-0 in Joliet, Illinois. Game 2 of the doubleheader between Washington and Florence will occur later on this evening. And then in the bottom of the 7th, the Gateway Grizzlies are leading the Windy City Thunderbolts in Crestwood, Illinois by a score of 2-0. No score here at Bosse Field, as I believe there were a lot of early starts today in the Frontier League.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm watching this guy warm up, and he was, you might have seen him do an unorthodox type of pitching earlier, and that was, getting the ball behind home plate, taking a step, jumping, and then throwing, or like a skipping action. And Tom Siebert, one of the great pitchers of our time when he pitched with the Mets and then with Cincinnati.
Tom Siebert.
Yeah, he used to do something similar.
Okay.
And I'm only getting that. I mean, I don't know these facts unless I'm informed about them. And Bill Fisher, who was an old friend of mine, I was his scouting supervisor, who later was a major league pitcher and was a major league pitching coach for the Red Sox and Cincinnati. He was the one that informed me of these things. So I don't want you thinking I'm making these things up.
Okay, no, I believe you. Let's see, what happened today on August 3rd in baseball. Today in 1914, the New York Yankees catcher Les Nunemaker, he threw out 3 Tigers, runners who were trying to steal second base, all during the first inning, the only time in the 20th century. Les Nunemaker.
It's very unusual. I could top that in a way.
Oh, yeah?
First game I ever played in the Northern League in St. Cloud. Charlie Fox was the manager, and, of course, that was my first game for the year. And Charlie Fox sent 7 runners down during the game. I threw 6 out. 7th I threw in center field.
So you were 6 for 6?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Charlie Fox later became one of my close friends.
So to recap what has happened so far, it is scoreless at Bosse Field. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. The original starter, Stephen Ridings for the Miners, started to warm up and had a funky motion throwing one of his warm-up pitches during the 4th, and unfortunately injured himself and left to the Miners dugout. So Cody Thompson will be in, whether long or short relief. It looks like the Miners will be going to the pen rather early. Ryan Long to the plate. Ryan is 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging that occurred back in the bottom of the 1st.
Ryan Long last night, if you recall, got that base hit, blooper over the infield, and I said, bet he cracked his bat. And I was talking to Ryan earlier in the before the game, and he was boning his new bat, and he said, you were right. I broke the bat last night. And I said, well, I said that to Dave.
1-0 the count as the first pitch from Thompson, the right-hander, is in the dirt for a ball. Thompson now will come set from the right side of the rubber. He kicks and fires a 1-0 pitch. That'll be dropping in there for a strike to even the count at 1 to Ryan Long. No outs, bottom of the fourth, no score. The only 2 hits were by the Otters today in Keith Griesaber and Elijah McNamee. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss as that breaking ball low and away to Long causes him to bite for strike 2.
Yeah, he didn't have a good swing. He went back to that bad swinging. But I got a feeling, Dave, and it's just a feeling, he's going to hit one tonight in the Bud Light patio.
Okay.
It's crowded out there.
Ooh, that hits him.
It got him in the ankle. But I tell you what, he's a football player. He's tough. And, it's not going to faze him. I remember in Milwaukee, in San Diego, we had an exhibition spring training game, Milwaukee and the Padres, and one of Steve Garvey's counterparts threw a ball and hit him, and everyone said, "Uh-oh, Garvey's going to run out to the mound. It's going to be a big fight." And Garvey just stood there, brushed himself, and just walked. That's character, and that's what Ryan Long just showed you.
So to the plate now is Dakota Phillips. Dakota is 0 for 1 today with a swinging strikeout. Runner on first and Long after he was plunked by the pitcher Thompson. First pitch to Phillips is a called strike inside. Counted 0-1 as the pitch was belt high to Phillips. So now that the Otters were, in a way, chasing the starter out of the game for Southern Illinois, they should pounce on an opportunity when they get one. 0-2 the count now to Phillips after he gets a called strike 2 inside belt high once more from Thompson. Count quickly at 0-2 with no outs.
Yeah, Phillips had his elbows locked on that pitch. It was, like you say, inside, and he just locked his elbows in. He couldn't get that bat around if he wanted to.
The 0-2 pitch, that'll be inside knee high for a ball to Phillips. Count moves to 1-2. Thompson this year, 2-2 with a 5.45 ERA. He has a fastball at 90-92, as well as a slider and a changeup. Standing tall at 23 years old, he throws over to first, and that tag never occurs to Ryan Long. Throw back from Smart to Thompson on the mound. 1-2 the count, no outs. Runner on first for the Otters, Dakota Phillips to the plate. Ryan Long was hit by a pitch. That's why he stands at first. Thompson disagrees with a call from his catcher, Nieto. Now they agree on a pitch as Nieto will set up outside to Phillips. His pitch was a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count will now go even at 2.
All depending on what Phillips does on this particular at bat. But watching that catcher throw to second base in between innings and such, I would send Ryan Long down on the next batter when Castro is batting, although Castro does swing at the first pitch every time, so I'd have to wait for the second pitch.
2-2 the count, no outs. If I was Long, maybe I'd steal. The 2-2 is a ground ball. It would be a backhand stop by Gudino to Obregon. The throw over to first base is not in time. A great stop by Gudino at short to get the force out at second base. Long is retired. Phillips on first after he beat out a throw from Obregon. It will be a fielder's choice.
That was a double play ball if you ever saw one. And the shortstop got the ball locked in his glove. He did a pirouette, and he kept looking into center field to see where the ball was, not realizing the ball was still in his hand. And then he backhanded a flip to the second baseman for the force. I'll tell you what, the Otters were lucky. That was a double play baseball.
Castro to the plate, the newly engaged man. As his first pitch is a breaking ball in the dirt for a ball in a righty-righty matchup. Count at 1-0.
Yeah, Castro generally chases that particular pitch low outside, but held up on that, which was good because, again, they're all balls. Now, I don't know about Phillips' speed. I wouldn't be gambling.
Neither would I.
Okay.
The 1-0 ground ball to the second. Shortstop Gudino to second for one, to first, and that's a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. We head to the fifth. No score from Bosse Field. You listen to Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. Jake Welch on the mound for the Otters. His first pitch to Jamie Smart. Drops in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. And I believe that Joel Plattfield, one of the higher-ups in the Otters front office, upgraded the mom of Jake Welch as well as his girlfriend to the lounge chairs in front of the Otters dugout.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Oh.
1-1 the count to Smart. Welch comes set. Riz sets up outside. The 1-1. Ground ball past Welch. Cronin, backhand stop. Throw over to first. And that's out number one. There are times where Dave Cronin makes plays look so easy in the field.
Well, yeah, he's cool out there, if that's the word, cool.
Yep, cool. As one of my favorite broadcasters, God bless him, he's in a better place now. He passed away from cancer. But Stuart Scott, he was a graduate of the University of North Carolina. His slogan was, as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And if you think about it, logically, the other side of the pillow is actually much cooler.
It is. It is. I can vouch for that because I'm going to say in the middle of the night, whether it's 1:30 or 2:30 or 3:30, whatever, I kind of wake up and then I'll take the pillow and just flip it over and it's cooler. You're right.
1-0 the count to Taylor Sparks, who was 1 for 4 yesterday with a 2-run home run. The 1-0 from Welch. Ground ball foul behind home plate. It will eventually drift towards the third base line to even the count at 1 with 1 out. We have Griesaber at shortstop. We have Cronin at second. And I believe there is a hole up the middle of the infield for the Otters. Unless I'm seeing things differently, Bill.
No, I think they're all playing normal positions, if that's what you're indicating.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, they're playing normal.
Okay.
Again, my opinion.
Okay.
You know, I can remember scouting I'm trying to phrase this right, but anyway, he was a ex-Baltimore outfielder.
Okay.
And he was advanced scouting.
Swing and a miss. There's the high fastball from Jake Welch. Count moves to 2-2.
He was advanced scouting for Baltimore, and he'd be with us behind home plate, and there'd be the pitcher, and he'd say, "Oh, that's a curveball." No, that's a slider. Oh, okay.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Jake Welch. There's 2 away in the top of the 5th. I got to tell you, Welch is dealing.
Well, he's looking good. Anyway, to cut the story and get to the point, whatever we told him, that's what he put down. So we could have made up the pitches. You know what I mean? Just like we were talking to Welch's father, and I was reminiscing about my old friend Johnny Logan, who was from New York, Endicott, New York. And Polish descent, by the way, too. And Johnny was a...
Need to add that in there.
Because I'll tell you what.
First pitch to Nieto is a drive to left field. 1 pitch, out number 3. Go ahead, Bill.
I'm going to say, John, if you made a joke about the Polish, he'd hit you right away. Oh, yeah, he was very, very dominant about that, so that's why I mentioned it. But anyway, we'll continue the game later.
No, we'll stay on. That's fine. I just want to let the audience know it is a scoreless game. We're going to the bottom of the 5th here at Bosse Field. Every inning that Welch has pitched thus far has been 1, 2, 3. The pitcher, when do you know when one would get into a groove as we welcome the father of Jake Welch? We'll get his headset situated momentarily. A man who is proud of his son right now. He's dealing. And Mr. Bob Welch joining us on the broadcast. Bob, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
No problem.
Absolute pleasure.
So your son, and I gotta phrase this carefully, but he is dealing out there.
He's dealing. I hate to jinx him coming up here, but he knows what he's got to do. He's got to go to work. He brings the lunch pail to work. And
he was. I managed to see him in the clubhouse before the game. Managed just to give him a high five as he was in the zone, had his music in his ears, and I know not to bother a pitcher on the day he's starting, but off the field, he does bring an intimidating presence. He is 6'6", but when you get to know him, he's actually he's a guy's guy that you want to be around.
He's got that very soft personality. He gets that from his mother.
Okay. Well, I understand has been upgraded to the lounge seats that are reclinable in front of or behind the Otters dugout. I think that was very nice of Joel Plattfield to upgrade your wife and I believe his girlfriend here to see Jake pitch.
Yep.
Before we get into Jake, what do you think about Bosse Field in general as a venue to see a baseball game?
Bosse Field is an excellent field. I've been attending baseball most of my life, and this is one of the most beautiful venues I've ever seen. The complete overhead that keeps the fans out of the sun is fantastic. When I first came up my first game, I was worried about needing some sunscreen 50. But Jake told me that it's all covered. It's a beautiful stadium. I love the dirt. Old school here. The fans, I sat with a couple of fans. They know the history of the game and absolutely have been followers for years, I believe. Talking to some people, they've been coming here since the existence of the Otters. So there's a deep history, and there's certainly a deep knowledge of the game by many of the fans here.
And not only that, Bill can tell you more about it, but there are a lot of loyal fans here at Bosse Field. First pitch to Elijah McNamee as we start the bottom of the 5th. It will be in there for a ball. Away, belt high to Elijah McNamee, count at 1-0. McNamee, the former Mississippi State Bulldog. His next pitch is low and away once more. A breaking ball from Thompson. Count moves to 2-0 with no outs. No score, bottom of the 5th, and what is appearing to be a pitcher's duel between Jake Welch and the combination of here's a drive to right field. Going back is Stacy to the wall, and he makes the catch near the warning track for out number 1. Now, I'm sure you've seen throughout your times here, in the amount of times you went to visit Boston Field, and Bob Welch is joining me, the father of Jake Welch, tonight's starting pitcher from the Otters. But the ball seems to carry pretty far to the outfield.
Going out a little bit, but it does seem to carry.
So to the plate now with 1 away, as Elijah McNamee flies out to right field. Hunter Cullen steps to the plate. Hunter today is 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. Here's the first pitch. It'll be a ball outside, up and away to the man from Newport Beach, California. Count moves to 1-0 to Hunter. When was Jake, or when did he first pick up a baseball?
I want to say out of the womb, but it wasn't. It was about 9 months old.
Right.
When I put a baseball in his hand, talking to Bill about where I grew up in Endicott, New York, and playing on Logan Field. There was a deep history there for baseball, so kind of carried that on with Jake, and at 5 years old, he started, like most young folks, T-ball.
1-1 the count to Cullen as he swung on and missed for strike 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt. Hunter lays off. It's a count at 2-1 with 1 out. Now, one of the other things that he told me last week when we were in Chicago is that he was a hockey player.
Hockey player, was a right winger, played junior hockey, but senior year he opted to follow his heart with baseball.
Swing and a very soft pop up to the first baseman, Smart. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th here at Boston Field, where the Otters and Southern Illinois Miners are scoreless. And I have the pleasure to have Bob Welch, Jake Welch's father, on the broadcast with us today as Mike Rizzatello steps to the plate. The catcher for the Otters today is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field in his first at-bat that occurred in the second pitch of the at-bat.
Mike's got the old school New York playing my way.
He's a big Yankee fan. First pitch to Rizzatello is a called strike 1 on the outside corner. Belt high, moving the count to 0-1 with 2 outs. Now, what is your fandom of the New York sports teams? Because sometimes I don't understand whether you're Mets or Giants or Yankees or Jets, as the next pitch to Riz is low and away for a ball.
I follow the tradition of my father. It was handed down to me. I'm a Yankees-Giants fan.
Okay. So Mike is a Yankees-Jets fan. Grew up on Long Island. The 1-1 is ripped foul down the third base line. Count moves to 1-2 with 2 outs. So I guess one, it depends on geographics, but the other one is probably, as you noted earlier, from what your father rooted for, and then we'll pass it down to your son.
Yeah, I think most people from the island are Jets fans.
Okay. 1-2 the count to Riz. No score, 2 outs. The next pitch from Thompson is upstairs and inside for a ball. Riz needed to back up so the ball would not hit him. It's an even count at 2 with 2 outs. Thompson takes a deep breath on the mound, and he fires a 2-2. And that will be swung on foul. Heads up down there for the fans down the first base line as the count remains even at 2 with 2 outs. What can you speak on as far as, so I'm from Philadelphia, and you are from New York. What is it about the Northeast toughness, as Bill is also a man from South Amboy, New Jersey, which is near the New York area as well?
I know I heard Bill talking that he was from the Jersey area. I've been to Philly for some Philly Giants game, and it's definitely a rivalry.
Oh, 100%.
The Philly fans don't take that lightly when you wear a Giants jersey in their stadium.
That's you're walking. I wouldn't say you're walking to your funeral, but it's a very verbal badgering you'll get, to say the least. The payoff pitch to Riz is inside for ball 4.
Yeah, I think you have 2 areas that are tough blue-collar or working-class people develop a love for a sport. That's possibly their relaxation. They're out, and that's what the rivalry with the Philly teams and the New York teams.
But I think that guys from the Northeast are a little bit different as far as the mantra, the persona, the character they build with themselves. not only the different accents, but most definitely how they carry themselves. They bring with them a certain attitude to it.
Attitude, definitely.
And I think Jake, Mike, Cepeda, Rob are a lot of New York guys on this baseball club. First pitch to Jack Meggs is low in the dirt for a ball. Count at 1-0. 2 outs. Runner on first base in Mike Rizzatello. The Otters' fourth or fifth base runner of today. Now, what's impressive about Jack is that his dad was his college coach at the University of Washington. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0. I'm sure you've coached Jake. When was the age or the grade that you cut off and allowed others to coach him?
I believe it was 6th grade. Once they go into that modified program, and Jake grew quickly. I think he was 5'10", 5'11" by 6th grade, and throwing harder than I could coach. And you knew at that time that you needed somebody with a little more experience, a little college level, pro level to take over. And I had a friend of mine who had played in the minors, and he's very familiar with all the teams in here. He played out of South Carolina, so he took the reins and kind of brought Jake to where he is right now.
Oh, wow. When did he have a growth spurt, or has he always been tall?
He's always been tall. I think he was 22 inches long, 10 pounds when he was born.
Oh, wow.
So he had a growth spurt right after his first year at college. He was 6'3", and then he shot up to 6'6".
Oh, wow.
And said, I don't want to grow anymore.
2-0 the count to Meggs. And do you think there would be a lot of pressure if you coached your son all the way up through college?
Oh, absolutely. The pressure. Yes, absolutely. I'm sure we would have butted heads.
The 2-0 is swung on and will be through the hole on the right side of base hit. Runners now on first and second with 2 outs for the Otters. They have another runner in scoring position in Mike Rizzatello. So Meggs with his first hit of the evening, his second hit of the series. On second is Rizzatello. On first is Meggs, and it'll bring up the spark plug of this Otters offense, and Dave Cronin. Now, go ahead.
Riz is due for a big hit. Hopefully we can score a couple here.
Well, there's nothing better than when the leadoff man, who his responsibility is to get on base, but Cronin in particular, a Chicago native, he embraces these pressure-type situations, and he wants to be at the plate in situations like this. I think I've seen that in a lot of the guys, as they are all competitive and all want to be in that particular moment to bring the team the victory. 1-0 the count to Cronin as he takes the first pitch ball outside. Now, what was it about Jake wanting to be a pitcher rather than a position player?
I believe at about 8 when they started throwing live, I knew he had an arm. He could throw from the outfield, so we kind of groomed him towards that. And he just fell in love with the position. He was a student of the game at an early age. He still is. He studies a lot of the major league ball players and the way they throw.
2-0 the count to Cronin as the pitch is low and away from the left-handed batter. Runners on first and second for the Otters. Scoreless here at Bosse Field in the bottom of the 5th. The original starter ridings through 3 innings as this pitch is popped up in the infield. Going back is Obregon, and now the center fielder, Duncan, will make the catch. The Otters leave 2 stranded. And Bob Welch, your son, is pitching very well right now. We hope for everyone out there in Evansville that he can continue, and maybe the Otters offense can click things together.
Hopefully
Thank you
away
so
with
much.
A victory here.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, as we will go to a commercial break right here on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
The local Pepsi bottling group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi bottling group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Since 1994, Slays Restoration has been assisting tri-state residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slays Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mitigation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slays Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters Baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. We have the pleasure to have the fiance of Carlos Castro join us on the broadcast, as well as the father of Jake Welch, who spoke moments ago. A guy who's really soft-spoken, a guy who's proud of his son right now. His son heading into the top of the sixth. In the first 5 innings he's thrown, Jake Welch has had 1, 2, 3 innings in innings 1 through 5. Very clean slate for Jake Welch, and his first pitch to Kyle Davis drops in there for strike one. Off-speed curveball from Jake Welch, and he has the curveball, the slider, and the fastball moving all well today.
He's pitching very well out there. He's, I know his father, Bob, is very proud of him, and I would be too if I was his father. I mean, you know, to see your son out there, here we are in the 6th inning. He's got 6 strikeouts. He hasn't given up a hit yet. And he's setting them down one after another. So, yeah, I'd be proud. Let's hope that the Otters can score a couple runs and make them really proud of the big win.
0-2 the count. Here's the next pitch from Welch. That's a fastball a bit high and away from the left fielder in Kyle Davis. Davis had the first hit of the series yesterday. He has no hits today. He's 0 for 1. The 1-2 pitch is reached on and fouled down the first base line. Count remains at 1-2. Welch hasn't thrown hard much today, but he's able to locate where he wants his particular pitches thrown.
He's got control. He's got command.
Here's the 1-2. Swinging a drive to center field. It's shallow. Cullen on his horse, and he won't be able to make the catch. It's a blooping single for Kyle Davis. The no-hit bid is over for Welch, as that is the first hit for the Miners today.
Well, yeah, it was a hard hit. The fly that just dropped. The bottom dropped out after it got past second base, and neither Cronin or Keith or Hunter could reach there. I mean, both of them, all three ran as hard as they could, and yet they were within 20 feet of the ball dropping. So it was one of those oddball things.
So Welch on the mound communicating to the infield as Ryan Long plays on the edge of the infield grass. There's a bunt. Fielded by Welch.
First base.
Easy throw to first, and he's safe. It was a blooping toss from Welch to Phillips at first, and back-to-back singles for the Miners. They are now threatening with no outs.
Yeah, Mike Rizzo is out there. Rizzatelli is out there talking to him now and saying, you know, Jake, you got to throw that ball just like you normally do. Don't you know. I'll be honest, Dave, that was one of my problems when I was catching early in my career. I used to lob the ball to first, and I used to throw it in right field a lot. And Rex Carr was a manager, one of my managers. He said, I don't care if you throw it in right field every time. Throw it hard. And that got me straightened out.
So now the first baseman in Phillips and the third baseman in Long will play on the edge of the infield grass, showing bunt and fouling that pitch down the first base line is Ryan Stacy. Stacy is 0 for 4 in the series. He was 0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout and a walk. He's 0 for 1 today with a ground out. So a big situation right here for the Miners in a scoreless game, top of the 6th at Bosse Field. Runners on first and second. Long and Phillips now creeping in even more. Showing bunt and missing that one is Stacy. The count now moves quickly to 0-2 with no outs.
I'm going to say the bunt is still on.
Lefty-righty matchup.
If he can get this guy for the strikeout, we'll be sitting all right.
Welch checks the runner at second. Here's the 0-2. Will be a fly ball foul down the third baseline. Caught the handle of the bat of Stacy. Count remains at 0-2. Will be coming into pitch number 4 of the at-bat.
You notice on number 1, this Stacy, you see that chain around his neck?
Yes.
See the back of it?
I do.
That's unusual.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Riz will set up inside to the left-handed batter, Stacy. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, ground ball, throw by Phillips. He'll toss over to first. Good cover by Cronin, and he gets the runner and Stacy out at first base. Cronin, I got to tell you, he's been playing heads-up baseball throughout this game.
I tell you what, that was a boom, boom play, and here comes the little manager, the little General Napoleon. He's going out to argue it. I tell you, nothing gets by the General. He'll argue about anything, even if the ice cream cone is cold.
Is cold or melted?
Cold.
So the Miners have been robbed of a potential home run earlier in this game, and now manager Mike Pinto of the Miners is upset with that call. Cronin was there to cover the first base bag. It'll be a putout for out number 1, but the runners do advance to second and third with 1 out.
See, a lot of times the managers just go out and argue. It's just to intimidate the umpires. You know, they're not going to get the call changed. It's just let them intimidate.
So maybe another makeup call is due for Southern Illinois as there's 1 away. Obregon to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Takes a first pitch ball from Welch. Count at 1-0 with 1 out. Runners on second and third for the Miners in a scoreless game at Bosse Field right here at the top of the 6th. Welch from the right side of the rubber takes a deep breath. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It'll be a line drive through the hole on the left side of the infield. That's a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Davis. Advancing to third is Duncan. And RBI single for Omar Obregon. It is 1-0 Miners.
Right, he just slapped that to the opposite field, which, you know, I've recommended a lot of our left-hand batters do the same thing. When you got that the infield, the third baseman playing in, all you got to do is slap it just like he did, and it's an easy base hit and an RBI for Omar in this case.
1 away, runners on first and third for the Miners. Gudino will be the batter, standing in on the right side of the box. His first pitch from Welch is bunted to the pitcher's mound. Welch makes the easy play to first. Now Phillips throws over to home. And sliding in there safely is Duncan. Good base running by the Miners. It is now 2-0 Southern Illinois.
I tell you what, you do not see that very often, what we just saw. Bunting with a runner on third just to bring the runner in, and here's Andy out there arguing the same thing, but that was a good play. I tell you, the General, I've always said the General is probably one of the best managers in this league. He plays good baseball, heads-up baseball. He don't look for the home run. He plays it a little simple game, and he accomplished his goal at that particular play.
Miners playing small ball, and it has worked. They have 2 runs and leading this one 2-0 with 2 outs. Gianfranco Wawu to the plate. Runner on second base in Obregon. First pitch to Wawu is low and away for a ball. There is no. Does the RBI count for?
Oh yes, it's an RBI. Yes.
So the RBI for Gudino.
Yes. If you notice the runner on third, he hesitated. He was waiting for the play to be executed to first.
The 1-0 is a called strike inside. Count moves to 1-1 with 2 outs.
What could have happened would have been if Jake Welsh just had faked the throw to first, he would have nabbed him at home. Well, not nabbed him at home, and gotten him in a rundown. A possible rundown.
1-1. Good block by Rizzatello. And the count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, when the door opens, the rain comes in. There was no hits at all in this inning or prior to this inning. And then all of a sudden we've got 3 and we've got 2 runs.
2-1 the count. 2 outs. Runner on second base in Gudino. Obregon and Gudino responsible for the RBIs for the Miners. Welch comes set, checks the runner at second base, fires a 2-1. There'll be a foul ball into the Otters dugout on the first base side. Count now even at 2. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Miners. And what was appearing to be a pitcher's duel, Welch was dealing on the mound. Innings 1 through 5 were 1, 2, 3 for the right-hander from Spencerport, New York. Family in attendance. 2-2 the count to Wawoo. Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball to center field. And Cullen says he has it and makes the catch for out number 3. Miners tack on 2 runs to lead this game 2-0. Bottom of the 6th we go from Bosse Field, right here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Since 1994, Slays Restoration has been assisting Tri-State residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slays Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mitigation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slays Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
Jacob there, the originator, here last night. I shouldn't say the originator, yeah.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. And Bill, your thought was, I was able to meet Jacob, the creator of the Otters Digital Network.
Yeah, last
that
night.
Helped Preston execute and allow all the viewers at home to watch the Evansville Otters play their home games at Bosse Field. The Otters are down by a score of 2-0 as Keith Griesaber will step to the plate. The first pitch he takes will be a ball inside and upstairs in a righty-righty matchup with Cody Thompson. Came in relief for Stephen Ridings after Ridings threw 3 scoreless innings. Unfortunately, he came off the disabled list and was not able to finish the game, or at least finish for a quality start. Thompson has come in, starting in the bottom of the 4th. He threw that previous pitch over the head of Griesaber, moving the count to 2-0.
Yeah, just for your edification, Jacob, who was the designer and everybody else, everything else, was a student at University of Evansville. And they set it up. And the first year it was experiments, and we charged everybody $40 to view it.
Did he?
Yeah, and of course we had like 200 people. And then the following year, Mr. Bussing allowed it to be free. And Jacob was so successful, they gave him a promotion by offering him a better position out there in Tennessee, and that's where he's at today. I mean, he
Belmont University.
Yeah, he's a very, very smart man. He was on the, believe it or not, University of Evansville Board of Directors.
Wow.
Or trustees, whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 3-1 swing and a late foul tip by Griesaber on a count that started at 3-0 is now full.
Well, he was the student rep on that board.
Okay.
Yeah. A very, very smart young man and a pleasing personality.
Oh, I had a pleasure to grab a bite with him in Preston last night.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Very nice guy, and told him where I was headed after the season, and he says he might know some people that I could talk to in the industry going forward.
Well, that's good. Jacob is. I certainly will help you if he can.
Full count to Griesaber, who has one of the 2 Otters hits today. The payoff pitch from Thompson. Swing and a miss. A high fastball inside for out number 1. That was ball 4.
Yes. I didn't say it. You did. But I'll agree with you. It was ball 4. It was up around his letters of his hat, not of his shirt.
I think the other thing is, I think Keith knew that one as soon as he walked back to the dugout. He goes, I swung at ball 4.
Well, you say his family is here, and again, the worms of the stomach might be turning and churning, and you do things you don't want to do, but you're trying to be impressive.
1-0 the count to Ryan Long as that pitch was upstairs and away for a ball.
Yeah, sometimes your worst enemy is yourself.
I can agree. Yeah. This next pitch is bouncing in the dirt. Count moves now to 2-0 to Long. Ryan is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout swinging in the first, and in the fourth, he led off with a hit by pitch. 2-0 the count to the man from Crandall, Texas, the former Red Raider. Happened to go to school with Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, as well as the lottery pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 2-0 pitch is upstairs for ball 3.
When you get a chance, ask him if he was a student when Preston Mattingly was there. Mattingly played basketball for them about 4 years ago, so he might have been a student, maybe a freshman.
The 3-0 is ball 4 in the dirt, and he also went to school with Jared Culver, lottery pick from Texas Tech now with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
4 pitches, all of them upstairs or in the dirt, and Long is awarded with a walk. With 1 out, Dakota Phillips will step to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice. He was able to beat out a throw from Gudino at shortstop, as there will be another mound visit for the Miners. The Miners currently lead the Otters by a score of 2-0. They scored 2 runs playing small ball back in the top of the 6th. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The Otters back in the 5th inning. They had runners on first and second with 2 outs. But Cronin, the Otters spark plug, unfortunately popped out to center field to end the threat.
Well, there's a guy warming up down there for the Miners, and he is a submariner. 27 or 37, I'm not sure.
27 makes more sense.
Look at that.
I've never seen that kind of motion in person.
Oh, I mean, he goes down, his arm is nearly hitting the ground before he releases it. He is really low. So he might be coming in next inning, possibly. Look at that. My God. And he's throwing strikes. Of course, we don't know what the velocity is, but he's just down there. But anyway, back to the game.
Phillips with a runner on first and long. His first pitch is fouled behind home plate. 0-1 the count to Phillips. Batting .235 on the year with 27 RBIs, 7 home runs. His last home run was a grand slam here at Bosse Field.
And it was very dramatic. He's hit several, two, over that 400-foot sign out there in center field, dead center.
0-1. That almost hit Phillips as that pitch was inside. Count even at 1 with 1 out. And with relievers coming in, you don't have a big scouting report on the relievers of a pitching staff. So if you're the Otters, you're maybe sitting on a fastball. Throw over to first is not in time. Smart doesn't apply the tag to Ryan Long. It's an even count at 1 with 1 out. Phillips, the man from Nacogdoches, Texas, and I had the pleasure to meet his mom and dad in River City earlier in the year.
Well, tonight we have JJ's parents in town, Keith's parents in town, and Welch's parents in town.
The 1-1 is fouled behind home plate. Catches towards the handle of the baseball bat of Phillips. Count now at 1-2 with 1 out. And even though those 2 runs are charged to Welch's line, those were just, it's in a way, sometimes that's how baseball is. They're just soft hits and other situations that allowed the 2 runs to score for the Miners.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played in too many ball games where
1-2 swing and a miss on a slider from Thompson. There's now 2 away in the bottom of the 6th.
And there, I think the little manager's coming out, so that's an automatic ejection. Once the manager or coach goes out twice in an inning, that's it. He's out.
So Thompson, in a way, spot relief as Ridings wasn't able to go at least 5 innings coming off the injured list. But now, in a way, is a big spot for both teams. The Miners have a 2-0 lead. The Otters have a runner on first base in Ryan Long. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. The Otters back in the bottom of the 5th had runners on first and second with 2 outs. The starting pitcher for the Miners in Steven Ridings, he went 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 3 innings of scoreless baseball with 4 strikeouts. Thompson is responsible for Ryan Long at first, and it's been more of a pitcher's duel with very little offense in today's game today.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has been a pitcher's paradise out there. Oh, look at that throw. See that? I mean, it's unbelievable. He's able to scrape his knuckles on the ground before he releases it. Oh, here comes a, look at that. That's a sinker.
How can you tell?
Well, did you see him? He told you what it was. See, there he goes. See, he just indicated what it is. See the ball drop?
Slightly.
You know, it was like I was telling Mike Grissatelli. He said, "Oh, I heard you about swinging on the first pitch." I said, "Yeah, but only if it's a strike." And he said, "Well, the umpire." I said, "Yeah, but when you see that little red ball," I said, 20 feet from home plate, you should pick up that rotation, that little red thing, and then you know where the ball is." And people talk about, I don't know if you ever heard anyone talk about the little red dot. Yeah, that's when you really see the pitch. When you see, when you're talking about the red dot, you're talking about the red stitches in the ball. So when you're seeing it, all you see is a red dot. Then that's a Ted Williams eyesight.
I appreciate the knowledge.
Well, that would cost you $5. I don't accept credit cards.
No? How about a check?
That I do.
Okay. To the mound now for the Miners is Ian Codina, who will be making, I believe, his first appearance as a Miner.
Oh, boy.
He played 2 years at Cal State Dominguez Hills, a Division II school. In 15 games, he had 5 starts, a 3.6 record with a 4.12 ERA, 32 strikeouts, 23 walks, and 43 2/3 innings pitched as a senior.
Wow. He's got pretty near as many walks as he has strikeouts.
42 and 33.
Yeah.
So with a submarine delivery, his first pitch to Castro is outside for a ball.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pitchers in my day. I've never seen a pitcher, throw from that low a position. That might make him unique.
Here's the 1-0 to Castro. A ground ball to the second baseman, Obregon. Throws over to first for the force out, and that ends the inning. We are 6 up and 6 down heading to the 7th. Miners with a 2-0 lead over Evansville. We'll come back after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The Pizza Brick Road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the Pizza Brick Road. Road down to Tyroni's. The Pizza Brick Road. The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's.
Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. 2-0 Miners the score. We're in the top of the 7th. To the plate will be Jamie Smart. And Welch needs to be careful here. Smart had 4 RBIs yesterday, including a 2-run home run. First pitch will be a ball outside. Count at 1-0. Welch through the first 5 innings went 1-2-3. Did not give up a hit. Gave up his first hit and first 2 runs back in the top of the 6th. RBI from Obregon as well as an RBI ground out from Gudino gave the Miners a 2-0 lead. That's where we stand right now in the top of the 7th. The 1-1 pitch. Line drive to right field. Going back is McNamee to the wall, and that ball is off the top of the wall in right field. A leadoff double for Jamie Smart. His 4th hit of the series.
And I tell you what, that was a sweet stroke. He just met that ball. He did not put that home run swing into it, and yet that carried that far off the top of the fence. I actually, believe it or not, Dave, I thought it was going over. I was watching our fielder out there, and he raced back, and I believe it was going over. But anyway, it was shy about a foot or 2 from going over. You called it, though. Be careful with him.
So a leadoff runner at second base for the Miners, and it'll bring up Taylor Sparks. The first pitch from Welch. Ground ball foul down the third base line. Count at 0-1. Sparks is 1 for 6 in the series. He had a 2-run home run last night.
And I believe he missed one tonight.
Yes.
Confrontational call.
0-1 the count to Sparks. Runner at second base. 2-0 Miners. Jake Welch has pitched a solid game for the Miners, or for the Otters, I should say. Unfortunately for the Otters offense, they have not been able to string quality at-bats together to put runs across the plate. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball off speed from Welch. Count moves quickly to 0-2.
I tell you, game by game, and I'm going to throw a bouquet your way, but game by game, you're getting to be better and better on calling these pitches. I mean, that was what you just called it. It was an off-speed curveball. And you're getting better, and I want to compliment you.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Well, tonight is Educational Day. As school administrators and teachers and everybody else, I guess they got free tickets. And as a former school administrator.
That's right. You were a principal, right?
That's right. And I evaluated many teachers, and I'm going to say I'm evaluating you now, and I'm giving you a good grade.
You can be honest. I think I've done better than a C.
Right now, you're getting a B+.
I'll take it.
We'll evaluate you at the end of the month, and we'll see where you go from whether it's an A or A+.
Okay. I'll take that, Teach. 0-2 the count. No outs, runner at second. Welch fires. Swing and a miss. Gets him inside for out number one.
That's Tyler's.
He jammed him inside, as a matter of fact.
That's his third strikeout for that batter. And the seventh strikeout for Welsh, although he had 6 going into that last inning, and unfortunately he didn't get 1 strikeout in the last inning. But if he had just gotten 1, that might have been a big difference.
Right now we're looking back as a possible momentum changer was when Welch lobbed it over to Phillips at first, and it was called safe to Joe Duncan at the time.
Yeah. That was a big heartbreaker.
Artur Nieto, the catcher, will swing on and ground this ball fair through the right side of the infield. And now a sharp throw from McNamee in right will hold the runners on the corners for the Miners. A single by Nieto goes past Cronin, who is playing more at double play depth rather than his normal second base position. It is now runners on the corners with 1 out for the Miners. They are threatening once more.
See, now I watched the ball go into right field, and I saw Meggs get it, but then I turned my eyes.
You mean Big Mac?
Big Mac, I'm sorry. But I turned my eyes to Steve Marino, the coach, and I watched him run down the line, and he was holding that train up all the time, holding it up. So if that runner was to advance to home, he would have been out. But the point is, that's a good coach. He's a former Otter player.
First pitch now to Kyle Davis will be past the outstretched reach of Ryan Long. An RBI single for Davis, and the Miners have extended their lead to 3.
Yeah, now that was unfortunately a real shot. There was no doubt about that being a base hit.
So Nieto goes over to second. The RBI single for Davis. 3-0 Miners. And now Max Peterson, the Otters pitching coach, will make a mound visit to Welch. The competitor that Jake Welch is, he wants to get the final 2 outs of this inning. There is a reliever warming up in the pen for the Otters. Looks like it'll be the right-hander Drew Byer. So this game was scoreless through 5. The Miners tacked on 2 runs when they sent 6 men to the plate in the 6th. An RBI single from Obregon and a RBI ground out to Godino. Smart led off this inning with a double. Strikeout to Sparks. Single for Nieto, put runners on the corners. And Davis now delivers with an RBI single for the Miners.
Yeah, Max just went out, gave a little conference talk to him, and he's back now. I think Jake's going to get this batter out. It was a good move.
It seemed like through the first 5 innings, Welch was going to throw a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah. Well, he...
First pitch to Joe Duncan is low and away for a ball. Count at 1-0 with 1 out.
He had everything going for him in the first 5 innings. There's good command. He's got good breaking pitches. And then his fastball seemed to have a trail to it, if I may use those words.
1-0 swing and a miss. There's a fastball outside, belt high to Duncan. Count now even at 1.
Now, what I meant by a trail to it, I'm referring to something's going on that, the ball got by the mound out there. But what I'm referring to about the trail, the fastball, it doesn't have any movement. It's just like a straight arrow from whatever you want to call it, from anyway, a bow and arrow.
1-1 the count. Runners on first and second for the Miners. Open back at third. Long will play slightly to the edge of the infield grass. Good block by Rizzatello from the breaking ball from Welch. Count now at 2-1 with 1 out.
See, if you remember earlier, that particular pitch he just threw, that breaking pitch, that slider, Rizzo blocked quite a few earlier in the early innings, and he hasn't done that lately. Now he just did it, so it shows you that Jake's breaking pitches aren't as effective.
Welch will check the runner at second base. He fires a 2-1. Ground ball to Ryan Long. He has a diving stop at third. To second for no. Through to second for 1. And from his knees, Long threw the ball to Cronin, and the ball bounced out of the glove of David Cronin. Bases now loaded for the Miners with 1 out.
What that situation was, in my opinion, Dave, is Ryan Long made a beautiful stop on that, and from his knees, as you called it, he threw it to Cronin on second, and it was a low throw, but still it was a throw that was playable. I think Dave was trying to get rid of the ball to execute the double play, and in the shuffle of the glove to the hand, it just dropped.
So a double led off the inning. Strikeout, single, single, single. Here's an error by Cronin as he fielded the ball to try to throw it over to second from his backside. It will be a run scoring for the Miners as Nieto touches home plate, and the Miners have extended their lead to 5.
It was a good play on Dave's part, but he was just off balance, and it just wasn't there. That's all. It was just unfortunate.
So Davis now at third, Duncan at second, and Stacy at first, reaching on the error from David Cronin. To the top of the order we go, and Omar Obregon, who had the RBI single back in the 6th to give the Miners a 1-0 lead. His 1-0 pitch from Welch is a ground ball to Cronin at second, touching the second base for 1 to first. That's in time, a 4-3 double play. As the Miners extend their lead to 5, we head to the bottom of the 7th, where the Otters have scored 51 runs throughout the year. Stretch time at Bosse Field. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations: west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. The Miners played small ball once more. Double, single, single, error, error, double play. But the first 5 batters of the inning allowed the Miners to score 2 more runs. They lead this one by a score of 5-0. Elijah McNamee, or Big Mac, will get things started for the Otters here in the bottom of the 7th. And Bill, you said it before the game started. The Otters score in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. They have scored 51 runs in the 7th inning this season. First pitch to McNamee is low and away from for a ball from the sidearm thrower in Codina.
Now, I'm going to go back to my philosophy that you're down by X amount of runs. You're in the latter part of the third part of the game. I would be taking a strike when you're, if it was a 4-2 game, that'd be different. But when you haven't scored yet, you need runners. So take a pitch.
1-1 the count. The next pitch to McNamee is fouled down the first base line towards the net. Hopefully everyone's all right down there towards the first base line. Count now 1-2. No outs. Bottom of the 7th. Jake Welch, through the first 5 innings, had a clean slate. Each inning went 1, 2, 3.
And he had a strikeout every inning. He had one batter striking out until that particular big inning where they scored 2 runs, and unfortunately he didn't get a strikeout. So he ended up with 7 strikeouts, I believe.
2-2 the count to McNamee. Codina fires the 5th pitch. It is a ground ball up the middle, and that will be through the hole. A base hit. Big Mac is 2 for 3 today.
Well, we got 1 runner on now. It's up to Hunter to get on one way or the other.
So my correction, it is 4-0 Miners, not 5. To the plate now is Hunter Cullen.
I think they heard you out there on the scoreboard. They just changed the number of runs for the Miners.
Okay.
It does say 4 now.
Okay. The next pitch to Cullen, or the first pitch rather, is a ball. Count at 1-0. Hunter tonight is 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking and a fly out to the first baseman.
Notice how Mr. Sparks is down there on third base. Every time there's a lefty, watch him creep up. See, now here he goes. When the pitch is coming, he'll move in.
This pitch is swung on and foul behind home plate. Towards the third base line. Count now quickly at 1-2.
Now he'll move back to his normal position. That would have been, in my opinion, Hunter could have possibly laid one down the third base line and with his speed beat it out.
Now he can. He's got a 1-2 count.
Unless he's proficient in bunting, and that I question. Buddy Kerr, one of my old best friends in baseball scouting, Buddy was one of those who bunted a lot with 2 strikes because he kept everybody off guard. No one expects you to bunt with 2 strikes.
The 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball in the dirt. I got to tell you, I've never seen a submarine pitcher live in person. My question for you is, how would one develop that throwing motion?
Well, if you look at the mechanics of baseball, medically, what he's doing is more natural than throwing overhand.
Really?
Yes, because the ball and socket joint up there in the clavicle is not suitable for raising that arm. Same way with the hip bone,
Ah, okay. 2-2 is fouled away. evening the count at 2 to Cullen, the man from Newport Beach, California.
I hope Mr. Bush, not Bouchard, not Bouchard. Oh boy, now I can't think of my Seton Hall anatomy and physiology instructor. Of course, that was 60-some years ago.
The 2-2 to Cullen is low and away for ball 3. And this is what you call working the count.
Right. This is what, again, you see, you get up there and you swing at the first pitch. You don't stand a chance. Hey, let the guy walk you. And when you got the count like this, okay, he has to throw a strike in order to get you out.
The payoff pitch swung on and through the hole, a base hit. McNamee on his horse heading to third. The throw to third base. He's safe. Cullen advances to second base. Otters in business.
I'll tell you, we're a little lucky on that. Big Mac is fortunate. That was a perfect throw from that center fielder. And actually, the ball did beat Big Mac before.
Oh, I thought so too.
Yeah, and
I knew it was going to be close. I knew the throw was there.
Oh, yeah.
From the center fielder, Joe Duncan.
I tell you, Duncan.
That might be a gift, my friend.
Yep. That might have been the turning point of this game, just like when Welsh lobbed the ball to first and opened the door for them to score. That might be the key to open this door.
So to the plate now is Mike Rizzatello. Mike is 0 for 1. He walked in the 5th. He flew out to right field in the 2nd. A big spot right here. And like a lot of these guys in this Otters team, Mike is very competitive and lives for moments like this. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Otters, no outs.
Okay.
First pitch to Mike Rizzatello is a called strike. But, Bill, that's okay.
Oh, no, that was the perfect thing. Don't swing at the first pitch, although Mike does a lot, and I said to him, jump on it. In that case, no, don't jump on it now.
0-1 the count to Riz from the sidearm thrower in Kudina. The next pitch is low in the dirt for a ball.
The only thing I don't like about Mike is he takes the first pitch for a strike, and then he takes the second pitch for a strike. That's where I always find fault with Mike.
And you told him that before the game, right?
Yes, well, yesterday. Well, no, I talked to him tonight, too, yeah.
Here's the 1-1. He swung on and hit softly to the second baseman, Obregon. And that's all that will occur as McNamee is held at third with 1 out.
I thought that might have been a chance for Big Mac to score because it was a floater. There's no way he was going to catch it, but in this situation, it's better to play it safe, which Andy did.
So now the Miners will go to the pen.
Yeah.
So big spot right here for both teams.
Yeah.
Miners up 4-0. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Otters. 1 out. McNamee and Cullen led off with singles. McNamee on the hard hit ball by Cullen extended and tried to get the third base. Slid in there just in the nick of time. And on the throw from Duncan to Sparks from center field to third base, Cullen was heads up and saying, hey, I can have open second base. I got good speed, and now that's why he's there.
Good call, man. Good call.
Let's see, Bill, let me get you with another fact. Let's see. Are you familiar with Lefty Grove?
Lefty, no.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Lefty Gomez.
Okay. Oh, today in 1941, the Browns' Johnny Nigeling gets Joe DiMaggio in 4 at-bats. Joe DiMaggio went 0 for 4 to stop DiMaggio's streak of 74 games in reaching base. So not only did he have the 56-game hit streak, in 1941 he had a 74-game on-base streak.
I'm going to say, I've said it, Ted Williams is the greatest hitter of all time in baseball. Joe DiMaggio is the greatest baseball player total overall in baseball.
Yeah.
And Joe DiMaggio was a gentleman. And, I mean, he represented the Yankees in all respects. As a great ball player, as a great man. And he was one of 3 brothers that played in the majors.
Was he?
Yeah. Don played with the Red Sox, and Vince played with Pittsburgh, and Joe. Although Vince wasn't as great as Don and Joe. They were California, San Diego, or San Francisco Seals players in the Pacific Coast League.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I know you say that Williams was the best hitter.
Right.
Should Williams have won the MVP that year? Or should
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Jack Meggs to the plate. Runners on second and third for the Otters. New pitcher in Hedin. He pitched last night as Meggs will check swing and couldn't get his bat back. It's a count at 0-1 after the swing from Jack Meggs.
Mr. Meggs lunged at that pitch. You can't. You got to control that body. Don't lunge.
0-1 the count. Here's the next pitch. It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt. Good block by the catcher Nieto. And the count will be even at 1 with 1 out.
You always stride with your lead foot, but your weight is still on the back foot. And then when the hips rotate, that's when the weight shifts to be even, and boom, then you execute.
Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-1 from Hedin is fouled down the third base line. Count moves to 1-2. On deck is Dave Cronin. McNamee led off with a single. Cullen had a single. McNamee advanced to third on the hard hit ball by Cullen and got to third in the nick of time. A strikeout, or a grounded, to Mike Rizzatello has the only out of the bottom of the 7th. Otters down 4-0. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Miners. No runs on 5 hits for the Otters, as well as 2 errors. Hedin comes set. Here's the 1-2 to Meggs. Be low and away for a ball. Setting up outside was the catcher Nieto. Meggs was rung on strikes.
No, are you serious? That was ball.
That was a ball. We try not to be too biased on here, but that pitch was low and away.
Well, there was the case, Dave, that you kept always saying with this young man who is umpiring, he does not give you a good indication that it's a called strike. Now, he just stayed there. I thought was ball. It was low outside. Oh, my goodness.
So Cronin to the plate with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Here's the first pitch to Cronin. It's low away in the dirt for a ball. Count at 1-0 with 2 outs. 4-0 Miners. And I think, Bill, you and I are still scratching our heads on that previous called strike 3 to Jack Meggs.
Well, we have said it before in previous games about this gentleman who is umpiring behind home plate. He is very hesitant in his calls, very delayed in his calls, and he doesn't execute in the calls.
The 1-0 will be a ground ball to the first baseman, Smart, and he tags Cronin to end the inning. The Otters leave 2 more men on base and could not score. 7 up, 7 down. We head to the 8th. Otters down 4-0 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vandenberg or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local Chapter 16 would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at IBEW16.net.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. Jake Welch, his night is done, and he pitched a solid game. He went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 7 strikeouts, no walks. Through the first 5 innings, it looked like Welch was going to throw a no-hitter because he retired each batter he faced in order from the first to the 5th.
Well, the first hit that Jake gave up, if you recall, was a blooper that fell in between center field, the second base, and the shortstop. Neither one or neither of the 3 could reach it.
So
that opened Pandora's box.
It was that lob that's been the difference, and now I think that called strike 3 to Jack Meggs is another difference.
Yeah, that was a bad call. I tell you what, I don't know if the managers have a selection in recommending umpires, but if I was Andy, I'd say this guy needs to go back to a training school.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you.
Drew Byer on the mound for the Otters. He has an 0-1 count to Yeltsin Gudino. Here's the next pitch. Ground ball to Griesaber, and he can't field it cleanly. It will be ruled an E6.
That was an easy play, and Keith was so confident of it. He took that extra step, and he was going to really fire it over, and with that, the ball just jumped out of his glove.
So Gianfranco Wawu to the plate.
That's our 3rd error so far today. And yet, a couple days ago, I was making reference to the Otters had 48 errors to 66 games or something like that.
Next pitch from Byer to Wawu is a strike. Count moves to 0-1. Wawu is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today. Gudino reached base for the first time this evening. Gudino had the RBI ground out in the 6th that gave the Miners their 2nd run of the game, as the next pitch from Byer drops in there for a called strike 2.
You know, Dave, talking about umpires, there used to be an umpire in the American League, and he was a professional wrestler from Buffalo, and he was big and very intimidating. And whether he was behind the plate,
0-2 pitch is fouled behind home plate.
Whether he's behind the plate or on the bases, if you question him, I tell you, he would walk away 1 or 2 steps and then turn around and you were gone. It was like he was setting a record that, he had to throw out, like a cop had to issue so many traffic tickets. He was like an umpire that, I've got to reach 50 a year to keep my certificate of umpiring. And he threw guys out. It's just unbelievable for no reason at all. And but he was a good attraction for the American League.
Throw over to first from Byer to Phillips is not in time.
When you put fear into people, you could be successful. There he's going.
The 1-2 runner goes, and he'll have to retreat back. Going foul. McNamee might have it, and he does for out number 1.
Yeah. You know, when I played here in the early 50s, Bob Coleman was our manager, and that's one of the things that everybody that played here played in fear, because you make one mistake and you were gone. There was a play earlier, if you remember, where Cronin threw it wild to Keith for that double play. That same exact thing happened in Terre Haute, and the pitcher, Bob Dudley, had come in and he threw 2 pitches, ground ball for the double play, only the shortstop didn't get there in time. Dudley was on the Greyhound bus the next day, and we all played in fear. That's why he won so many championships.
0-1 the count to Smart. Byer needs to be careful with this batter. The second pitch, called strike 2 on the outside corner to the lefty in Smart. Smart is 1 for 3 today with a double and a run scored. He was 3 for 5 yesterday with 4 RBIs.
That double was a foot or 2 shy of a home run.
0-2 the count, 1 out. Double play intact. Byers 0-2 pitch. Ground ball fouled on the third base line. Rizzatello wanted that one to be swing and a miss for strike 3.
And I think Rez would have threw his cleats out at second. He was jumping outside.
Oh, because he saw the runner go, because I got him.
Right.
He wanted the bang double play.
As a former catcher, you'd love that. You know, when you know you got a great arm, and you say, "Hey, go ahead, try to steal."
0-2 the count, 1 out. Runner on first in Gudino, who reached on an error. This is popped up. Who's got it in the infield? Cronin is there, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, that he's a big boy. The third base and the first base for the Miners are 6 foot. Although, which one was 200 pounds? 6'4", but 200 pounds. I think that was the third baseman.
Sparks?
Spark, yeah. And but both of them, they're men.
Sparks tonight is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, all of them swinging. Runner goes. Swung on. Good outstretched reach, and catching the ball is Ryan Long for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Otters need to get some runs. They're down by a score of 4-0 right here on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
The tri-state area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at mymarathonstation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is fueling the American spirit.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen and Bill McCune on the call. Otters down 4-0. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Otters had their chances to put at least one run on the board. Back in the bottom of the 7th, McNamee at Cullen led off with singles, and they couldn't score.
Now, between last night and tonight, we've had the runners, but we haven't had the corresponding hits.
Griesaber to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts. First pitch to Keith is a ball in the dirt. Count moves to 1-0. And I got to tell you, I'm still hung up on that called strike 3 to Jack Meggs because it was low and outside.
Yes, and what gets me is the umpire never made any indication it was a ball or a strike. He just stood there, didn't turn. Now, normally he doesn't indicate it's a strike by throwing out the right arm. He just slightly turns, whereas in this case he didn't do either.
Swing and a miss on a high fastball from Hedin to Griesaber, evens the count at 1. It'll be Griesaber, Long, and Phillips for batters 2, 3, and 4 in the Otters order. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, foul down the first base line. Count remains will move to 1-2. Looks like the Ivy Leaguer and Taylor Wright will begin to stretch in the Otters' pen as the Otters are hoping to score at least 2 runs to cut this deficit to 2 before they head to the bottom of the 9th. First things first, we need a base runner. Keith Griesaber does have an opportunity to do that right now. 1-2 the count in a righty-lefty matchup. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball from Hedin. There's out number 1 as Griesaber's retired.
That's 3 strikeouts for Keith, and you say his parents are here, and that's he's having a bad night.
To the plate is Ryan Long. Ryan is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, swinging in the first, a hit by pitch in the 4th, and a walk in the 6th. Lefty-lefty matchup. Phillips on deck. First pitch to Long is a ball inside. And 2 inside for a ball. Count moves to 1-0.
And that's not the same bat he was boning before the game. It's a different bat.
Nieto, the catcher, sets up outside. Swing and a miss on a fastball from Hedin. Count even at 1 with 1 out. Dakota Phillips on deck. And the hole will be Carlos Castro. Nieto sets up outside. The next pitch is low and away for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Ryan hitting .280 on the season. He's 2 for 4 in the series heading into today's game. He had 2 singles, a walk, and a run scored in game 1. Currently has a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a walk tonight. Hedin fires a 2-1 pitch. That'll be dropping in there for a called strike 2, belt high inside to Ryan Long. Count even at 2 with 1 out. Hedin comes set from the belt, fires a 2-2. That plunks Ryan Long. The second time he's been hit tonight.
Well, it matters to get on base no matter which way. Now here comes a man that's capable of hitting one out of this ballpark that give you your 4-2 score.
Dakota Phillips?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he got the grand slam, his last home run, and I've seen those home runs go over that 400-foot sign out there, which is dead center, and that means you've got power.
He has 7 home runs, 27 RBIs, 38 hits. His last RBI came on Thursday night in a pinch hit situation to tie the game at 3 in Lake Erie in the rubber match. He takes a first pitch called strike from Hedin in a lefty-lefty matchup. Count at 0-1.
Yeah, that was the game that Dale Long and Mr. Phillips pitched hit.
Yes. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on a slider from Hedin. Count quickly at 0-2.
And both were successful in pitch hitting.
That's right.
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a drive to center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. And we will have a pinch hitter to the plate.
29.
Tanner Wietrich, the former Rascal, will be pinch hitting for Carlos Castro and what will be appearing to be a righty-lefty matchup. So Wietrich comes to the plate.
Oh, here comes the general, Napoleon. He's got words with the umpire. Or maybe he said timeout.
So the Otters now have runners on first and second base. One out. Here in the bottom of the 8th, they're down 4-0.
Just for your information, Dave, but watching the little general over all these years, when he comes out of that dugout and goes to that mound, you know that pitcher is out of there.
Okay. So Wietrich comes into the game. He was acquired as a free agent after being released from the River City Rascals. Wietrich, in his Frontier League career, in 18 games, he has 10 starts. He's hitting .286 and 35 at-bats. He has 10 hits, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 4 walks, and also 12 strikeouts. A big spot for the man from the University of Iowa who played shortstop for the Hawkeyes. Are you familiar with Iowa?
Yes, I coached college out there in Clinton, Iowa, at Ashford University. Yeah.
Okay.
And plus, I played in. Davenport and oh boy, how many? Cedar Rapids. There was a few. Burlington. Yeah, I played in a few cities.
So to the mound now for the Miners is Gabe Gentner, and Gentner also pitched last night, which allowed the Miners to win Game 1. Gentner pitched 2/3 of an inning. I think he was in when the Otters were able to tie the game at 2 after the starting pitcher and Cole Cook was relieved after 5 1/3. So the Otters hit this particular reliever last night. Let's see if they can hit him again. Miners are up 4-0, 4 runs on 6 hits. The Otters have no runs, 6 hits. Unfortunately, they also have 3 errors. We have a righty-righty matchup. Long at second, Phillips at first. Phillips singled. Long was hit by a pitch the second time tonight. Wietrich in his first pinch hit appearance of the season. Nieto will set up inside to the right-handed batter. The first pitch from Gentner is a called strike belt high near the heart of the plate for strike 1. 0-1 the count, 1 out, 4-0 Miners. Ryan Long represents the first run if the Otters are able to cross home plate. The lone runner in scoring position, the man from Crandall, Texas. This pitch is swung on, ground ball to the third baseman, Sparks. They're over to second for 1, to first, a 5-4-3 double play. We head to the top of the 9th. with the Otters down by a score of 4-0. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi bottling group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi bottling group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. The Otters are down to the Southern Illinois Miners by a score of 4-0. The Otters have left 9 runners on base. I can double check how many have been in scoring position, but the Otters left 11 runners on base last night and their loss. They have left 9 on base tonight. To the mound now in a pitcher-catcher battery is Michael Gizzi on the mound, and Mike Rizzatello behind the plate. Nieto, Davis, and Duncan, batters 6, 7, and 8 in the Miners' order. First pitch, McNamee on his horse, and he won't get there as that pitch goes foul down the right field line.
Well, the 3 errors by the Otters certainly didn't help either. Although when we had the chance to score, they played tight defense.
So 0-1 the count to Nieto. Gizzi from the right side of the rubber fires an 0-1 pitch. It'll be a ground ball foul down the third baseline. The count moves to 0-2.
You know, one thing about the general, when he selects a team, he's a pretty good judge of talent.
Mm-hmm. So the Otters have 9 runners left on base, 4 of them in scoring position. Yeah. 0-2. That should have dropped in there for a called strike 3 instead of it's a ball a bit high. Things have not gone the Otters' way, as the first 5 innings were scoreless between both teams. The Otters were able to chase away starter Steven Ridings as he came off an injury. Hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. He threw 3 scoreless innings and threw 4 strikeouts. And the Otters were unable to touch the Miners' pen in a big way. 2-2 the count to Nieto, the catcher who has a pretty good arm. Gizzi from the right side of the rubber. Rizzatello sets up inside. The 2-2 swing and a miss on a fastball. 1 away in the top of the 9th.
Well, Tech Hunter's base hit, and Big Mac's 2 hits. Phelps has hit. Keats hit. You know, we and outside of Long being hit twice with a bat by a ball, he hasn't walked a batter yet. So we haven't had that many runners on, but when we did get them on, we left them stranded.
1-0 the count to Kyle Davis. And I guess I should point out to the audience that you're wearing a Maui, Hawaii shirt. I'm a big fan of the state of Hawaii. I went there on vacation once. It's beautiful.
No, I've been to the Big Island twice, and one time, Maui, I went down to visit my old classmate, a former Superior Court judge in Maui, and he invited me out to have dinner with his golf course, but unfortunately, Jack passed away about 2 years ago. He went to Georgetown on a basketball scholarship, was a pretty good basketball player, and baseball, he signed with the...
Swing and a drive to right center field. Going back is Cullen on his horse to the wall, and that'll drop all the way to the wall in right center. Rounding first, heading to second with a one-out double is Kyle Davis. Davis's third hit of the night.
Just to finish, Jack Vale was a captain in the Marine Corps, jumped out of one of those helicopters, broke his ankle, and there went his baseball career. He was with the New York Giants baseball team, not the San Francisco. Anyway.
So Davis entering the at-bat was 2 for 3. He's now 3 for 4. Duncan to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and reaching on an error that occurred by Ryan Long. First pitch is over the head of Duncan. Count at 1-0. Runner on second. Gizzy on the mound, trying to get the Otters out of the inning without scoring any more runs from the Miners before they step to the plate in the ninth in their last at-bat. Next pitch, is swung on a breaking ball, low and away. Count even at 1 with 1 out. Otters dropped game 1 last night as the Miners came out scoring early and often. The offensive explosion in the 8th and 9th innings, scoring 6 runs, gave them a commanding 8-2 victory. Tonight, it's been a different story. The 1-1 from Gizzy. Swing and a drive to center field. Cullen will come under and make the catch for out number 2. Yep. In a game that was scoreless through 5, the Miners, they sent 5 runners, to the plate. They scored 2 runs to make it 2-0. And then they sent 6 batters to the plate in the 7th, scored 2 more runs to make it what is now 4-0. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Miners.
Right, but I think the 2 runs that they scored in the 6th were unearned because of the 2 errors.
First pitch to Stacy is a called strike.
Unfortunately, both errors were by David Cronin, who generally is a very solid infielder.
Gizzy checks the runner at second. Comes set. Is 0-1. Swing and a miss. A fastball down and in for strike 2.
Well, the Otters have one more chance. 3 outs coming up in this bottom half of the inning. Now, they were in the same position the other night, weren't they? Down by 3 and come back and tied the game. So,
swing and a ground ball. Backhand stop by Phillips. Toss over to first. And Gizzy is there on the 3-1 putout. Time to put on your rally caps. Otters down 4-0, heading to the bottom of the 9th on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I road. Road down to Tironi's. It beats a brick road. It beats a brick road. Always goes to Tironi's.
Eye of the Tiger, the theme of Rocky 3. As we head to the bottom of the ninth, the last chance for the Otters. On the mound still is Gentner. To the plate for the Otters, who have left 9 runners on base, 4 of them in scoring position. It will be Elijah McNamee, Hunter Cullen, Mike Rizzatello, for batters 6, 7, and 8 in the Otters order. McNamee has played well tonight. He is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Cullen is 1 for 3 with a single. Rizzatello is 0 for 2 with a walk, a flyout, and a groundout. It was these 3 batters that helped generate some action back in the bottom of the 7th for the Otters. Let's see if Big Hit Mac can set the tone for the Otters in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, we had runners on second and third when Big Mike was batting, and he got that blooper to second base, which we possibly could have scored a runner, but Andy played it safe, and, of course, Rizzo got thrown out at first base. So there went the balloon. It kind of burst.
McNamee gets a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Nieto now will set up outside in the catcher. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. And Gentner throwing the heat for strike 2.
I think you called that right. I was going to say a little mustard on that.
Yeah, the bat speed was not quite there from McNamee on that particular pitch from Gentner. 0-2 the count. Here's the third pitch. It'll be fouled away. Count remains at 0-2, and the third pitch of the at-bat to Elijah McNamee, the man from Mississippi State. Hailing from Cypress, Texas. Does have family in the Philadelphia area. 0-2 the count, no outs. McNamee will be the subject of our pregame interview tomorrow. The 0-2, swinging a drive to center field. Big hit. Mac gets the 9th inning rally started for the Otters. McNamee, 3 for 4 for the day. All of them singles.
Yeah, so far he's been a great addition to the Otters. And like you say earlier, that, you know, you've got Meggs out there, and you got Cullen, and you got Big Mac there now with Meggs, Big Mac, and Cullen.
All right.
Pretty good defense.
I think so. Cullen to the plate. Cullen is 1 for 3 with a single. Greasaber is the other outfielder I was thinking of because he's been playing left the majority of the season. First pitch to Hunter Cullen is called for strike 1 near the outside part of the plate to the left-handed batter. 0-1 the count as that pitch was belt high and away. Gentner from the right side of the rubber. Nieto will set up inside the 0-1. Swing and a foul ball behind home plate. Count moves quickly to 0-2 to Hunter Cullen, who has good speed when on base. He singled up the middle back in the 7th.
Well, there's no cheering from the crowd. They're just all silent. And everyone's on their toes.
The 0-2 to Cullen. Ground ball through the hole on the right side of the infield. That'll be a base hit. McNamee extending from second to third. Otters have runners on the corners with no outs. Both McNamee and Cullen coming up clutch in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, similar situation, only on the last time Keith went, or Big Mac went to third on the throw from center field, and that allowed Hunter, remember, to go to second base, which you so politely advertised.
Now, if you're Otters manager Anya McCauley, you have been aggressive on the base path all season. You are second in the Frontier League in stolen bases. Cullen has speed. If there is a pass ball or a wild pitch, you're not thinking or hesitating. Cullen, you're going to second base.
Did he get hit?
Almost.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, are you going to send Hunter to second base? And I'm going to say no.
But if there were a pass ball or wild pitch, and that would also bring a run home.
Yeah, no, I thought you meant on just regular steal, because you don't want to kill the rally before it starts.
Right. The next pitch to Rizzatello is outside. 2-0 the count to Rizzatello. And go ahead, Bill, say it. He should take?
No, I'll tell you what. Oh, in this situation, no.
Don't take a strike?
No, I'm going to let him swing.
All right.
Not in this case, no. If he could hit one out of that, it makes it a 4-3 game.
He has one home run on the year. The 2-0, that'll be called strike one between knee and belt high away to the right-handed batter, Rizzatello. Count at 2-1, one of the veteran Otters on this baseball club.
Now I'm going to tell him, swing at anything that's close to that plate. Don't get called strike 3 or strike 2.
Here's the 2-1. That's
3-1.
Low by the knees of Rizzatello. Count at 3-1. And you can feel the pressure building.
Oh, yeah. Tying run coming to the plate if Big Mike gets on base.
Crowd getting back into it. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. That's a high fastball for strike 2.
Mike, that was ball 4. That's what happens when you see that
high fastball.
Yeah, you just want to jump on it, but unfortunately,
everyone on their feet. The payoff pitch, ground ball to the shortstop, to second for one, to first, a double play.
That's the third double play of the game. More or less hurt us, but we did. Runners on second base. Oh, okay, now he's going off.
So an RBI for Rizzatello that scores McNamee from third.
No RBI in that. No RBI. That's okay.
Sorry.
Number 3, the left fielder, Jack Meggs.
Well, it's 4-1.
Yeah, he drove in a run, but it's not an RBI, unfortunately.
All right.
But again.
So a 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah. Well, we could start a second rally. I mean, there's a lot of teams won ball games losing by X amount of runs and having 2 outs, and yet scored X amount of runs to win. So the fat lady didn't get on the bus yet.
1-0 the count to Meggs. The next pitch. Called strike. That was low and away.
This umpire likes that low and away pitch to left-hand hitters. Now, it's hard for us to decide whether they're, over the plate or not because we're blocked out.
1-1 outside for a ball.
You see now, that's the first time I've seen him do that. Did you see him with the left hand? He just indicated it was away from the plate. That's the first time I've seen that umpire do that.
Two-one, popped up to the shortstop Gudino, and that'll end the inning. And that'll end the game as well. The Southern Illinois Miners take the series against the Otters by a score of 4-1 tonight. Back after this on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations: west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North First Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
To Evansville Otters baseball. This is the Otters postgame show on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network. The Otters battled tough, but unfortunately they could not put enough runs across the plate as they lost tonight and lost the series against Southern Illinois by a final score of 4-1. Bill, the Otters had their opportunities throughout the game. They had a great pitching performance from Jake Welch, as he was throwing a no-hitter through 5, allowed 2 runs in the 6th, and then the Otters couldn't get things started until the 7th inning, really. The Otters had runners on second and third with 1 out, or no, second and third with no outs in the 7th. Mike Rizzatello grounded out, a soft grounder to the second baseman in Obregon. Meggs struck out looking, and we will continue to say that was a questionable call, because if Meggs doesn't strike out looking, it's bases loaded with 1 out with Cronin to the plate in a bigger spot than having runners on second and third with 2 outs. Cronin pops up or grounds out to the third baseman or first baseman to end the inning. Then the Miners will add 2 more in the 7th. In the 8th, the Otters, Ryan Long got on with a hit by pitch. Phillips singled, and then Tanner Wietrich in a pinch hit situation for Carlos Castro grounded out into a 5-4-3 double play. Then, with the Otters down 4-0 into the 9th, McNamee got on with a single. Cullen got on with a single, similar to the 7th. Mike Rizzatello grounds out into the 6-4-3 double play. Meggs pops up to the shortstop to end the inning. And that's, unfortunately, was the ball game. The Otters did have a handful of opportunities to score at least more than 1 run. They are clearly better than the 1 run they showed for tonight offensively.
Well, tonight was a carbon copy of last night insofar as you mentioned it. They had 11 runners on scoring position last night or on base, and they had X amount tonight and just couldn't bring those Ducks home. And we had a little sloppy baseball defense there tonight, which hurt the Otters insofar as Jake, unfortunately, had a easy out at first base, and he kind of lobbed the ball, and that provided the runner to be safe, and that opened the door for 2 runs. And then one of the most reliable people on the defensive men we have on the Otter lineup, the second baseman, Dave Cronin. Dave comes up and makes that error trying to execute a double play. I mean, Ryan made a beautiful stab at third base, and on his knees he threw it to second base. It was low, yes, but still playable. And Dave trying to execute the ball out of his glove to make a relay quick, dropped the ball, and that helped hurt. And then on the next play, a ground ball to Dave, and he kind of lost his balance and throwing it to second base. Before you know it, here comes another run. So
unfortunate for the Otters. Now, they do have a game tomorrow, as well as 3 more games against the Lake Erie Crushers. We're in the month of August. It is playoff time for the playoff push. And unfortunately, the Otters are now riding a 3-game losing streak, something that hasn't occurred in quite a while. We're going to check around the Frontier League scoreboard. Earlier today, the Washington Wild Things defeated the Florence Freedom in Game 1 of a doubleheader by a final score of 7-1. The Joliet Slammers edge the Schaumburg Boomers by 1, winning by a final score of 3-2 in Joliet, Illinois. The Florence Freedom then win Game 2 against Washington by a final score of 7-6. The Gateway Grizzlies defeat the Windy City Thunderbolts by a score of 5-0 at Ozinga Field. And the River City Rascals defeated the Lake Erie Crushers by a score of 1-0. The Otters need to be careful because the Rascals are literally right behind the Otters in the standings, as the Freedom, Otters, and Rascals are all with similar records making a playoff push in this month of August.
Yeah, this is the big month. This is where the money players come out of the woodwork. And insofar as when the pressure is there, the championship players, they'll shine. The weak ones, they'll fall on the side. So it's up to the Otters to prove that they're a number 1 playoff team, which I believe they are. I think man for man, they've got a good team, but you've got to cut down on those strikeouts, and when you do get the hits, you've got to make them productive.
If we look at the Otters chart, McNamee came up big. He was 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Cullen had 2 singles. Ryan Long was able to get on base in 3 of his 4 at-bats, unfortunately by 2 hit-by pitches and a walk. Phillips got on base twice with a single and a fielder's choice. That's it. So not as many Otters reaching base more than once tonight.
Well, as you said, Meggs once, Cullen twice, Big Mac 3, and Long twice because he was hit. But that's not many runners, but those that were on, they were in scoring position. That's the ironic part. We've had men on third base several times, and yet we just could not get that hit when you needed it.
I'm looking at my math correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 runners were in scoring position for the Otters.
Yeah. Well, today's a day of history. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's hope the boys go to church tomorrow and they come out winners.
Well, first pitch tomorrow, 12:35 p.m. Central Time.
12.
As we are in the month of August.
Yep.
And Bill, I will see you tomorrow afternoon after Mass.
We're going to have coffee and donuts after church. I mean, normally we go to IHOP or somewhere else to get breakfast after Mass.
Save me a donut if you don't mind.
But tomorrow's coffee and donuts after Mass, so Mass is at 7, get out at 8, 8:30, have my coffee and donuts, be 9:30, and I'm going to take my friends down to see our new house, so that'll be 10:30. And 12:30 is the game. I'll be here at 11.
All right, sounds good to me, Bill. For Bill McCune and our radio engineer, Mr. Joey, back in the studio, who did an excellent job, I'm Dave Nguyen. Everyone have a great night, and go Otters.
The preceding has been a presentation of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville. For a complete game and broadcast schedule and to keep up on the latest with the Evansville Otters, visit us online at evansvilleotters.com. We thank you for listening, and until next time, go Otters!